Just vibe with us.
Even the man with the butt plug, God knows where in his anatomy at this point, is roasting you.
Allies should not become so enthusiastic that they speak over us.
Loving this bitch or this okay?
If you're trans, just ask some questions. Try and get an understanding of why all these bigoted pieces of shit think that they can speak for us.
There's a really good chance that trans people are a flavor of intersex.
One of the people I've watched before, it turns out was one of Alec Gunter's toadies. Here we go. So like, after he left, people started like pouring in support, you know, some of these trans people, because a mean trans person spoke to him and didn't agree with everything he said immediately. Cassie and I are Demos. Yeah, I saw Cassie. I don't know if I saw you before you got banned. I saw Cassie quite a lot in his chat. But yeah, this Ember person. So she put this. Mary is all bad faith. She responded to one of my old pre-transition videos. By the way, I had a look. This person has removed tons of their videos. So like stuff that I've reacted to, I don't know if there's any other versions, but that's all I know that exists now. So I have no idea what she's talking about. When I cited a source, she found an excuse to ignore it. And when I made an off-the-cuff remark, she'd say citation needed. I don't even know what she's talking. I don't know what interaction this is. But she's taken off all her old fucking videos. This person, they have been trans for like a year or two, maybe. They always wear a hat, which is a bit of a telling thing, but never mind. Some of us pass better than others. You know, it is how it is. They're one of those, you know, those older trans women you get. They've always been trans. They've always been trans, and they've always been a woman since the age of 6 or whatever. But they didn't start transitioning until like 55. That's the kind of person we're dealing with here. But yeah, this is her in Gunt's chat, being a pick-me, patting his ego after somehow not being able to manage a conversation with me, of all people. I think you can probably tell I'm not the most verbose person in the world, so it really should have been a cakewalk for a guy like him. But yeah, apparently I'm all bad faith because of one interaction that I don't even remember. Like, this person is welcome to come and talk to me. This person is welcome to educate me if they feel they can. What I will say to any of that is I've been trans for almost 10 years. This person has been trans for around about 10 minutes. So this is one of Ember's comments. We can get rid of this now. It's been up long enough. And this is the person she supports. We're going to watch a bit of Guntent. This is rhetorically defective, white liberal, dehumanizes black conservatives on his stream. This is to do with his behavior after Jubilee. I can't remember if he says any slurs and shit, but he at least, like this black lady on the left there, he's like calling her a bitch and stuff, which is insane. Yeah, was it you that posted this? Someone posted this, and I was like, oh shit, I really should cover this. I'm not trying to, this isn't a fucking Guntent channel. Basically, we're going to see a video about a racist, anti-racist who's transphobic, trans ally. Yes, but more than that. It's a bit of a slow burn, this. I've got several videos that we're kind of doing all at once. But yeah, let's get into it.
Coming up on rhetorically defective.
There's no meritocracy in this country. You look at Elon Musk, he's destroying Twitter. There's no meritocracy. That's the...
Look at Elon Musk. There's no meritocracy.
Ridiculous.
They're all judging me. Look at them fucking staring me down, dude. They fucking hate me.
I have a savior complex as an older brother, and I will save you whether you like it or not. So that's just me.
You want to be a savior and you're using me to make yourself feel good. That's what I'm
How am I
hearing.
hurting you?
You're not letting me have my own voice. You're not letting me speak.
How? You're speaking now?
Kelly, I'm saying both. Actually, I think he's more of a psychopath than a sociopath. Yeah, Elon Musk, listen, if you're a leftoid YouTube commentator or whatever, you are obligated to have at least a couple of videos a week shitting on Elon Musk, shitting on AI, talking about trans rights from the position of someone who should shut the fuck up about trans rights. Abortion, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty weak. Matt Walsh, that's another one. Got to make sure you get your 6th video of the week about Matt Walsh. J.K. Rowling, yeah, to an extent as well. Yeah, I don't know. There's that video of like Xanderhal whining that if he was a right-wing like grifter, he'd be a millionaire by now. There's so much like grift. There's so much to potentially work with as a leftoid content creator. And Xanderhal just sucks, unfortunately. Like, that's how it is. Most of these left-wing content creators suck.
Yeah,
you're cutting her off.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I have to.
This isn't about love.
Oh look, Alec Gunter talking over a black person, just like he talks over trans people. Tells Marcus Dibb that he's not a man because he disagrees with the great Alec Gunter.
This is just about making the world a fucking better place. This isn't about me personally.
You want to make the world a better place, Alec? Delete everything to do with your YouTube presence, your online presence. Delete all of that shit. Stick to your nursing job. And fuck off. That's how you can help. Trans people don't want you anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the only one. Maybe I am, but I'm not the only one. Either way. So, hey. And hey, if you're trans and you make any kind of content, I urge you, if you do not like these fucking allies, to start talking to them. You don't even have to be a fucking debate lord. Almost no one is, really. Just ask some questions. Try and get an understanding of why all these bigoted pieces of shit think that they can speak for us.
Loving this bitch or this cunt, okay? Like, I don't know about me personally loving this bitch or this cunt, okay?
So the lady here is a bitch. She seems super nice. I've seen this Jubilee thing like more than once. She seems super nice. I think this guy, you can barely see him behind the chat, calls him a cunt. He called him a bootlicker during this, so that's nice.
Like, I don't love these people. But Democrats are gonna fucking slave on it. I hate these people.
A white man elevating himself above a black person.
He called me a bootlicker.
That's literally what he does. It's the same with trans people. He elevates himself above trans people. And you get these, like, trans fucking handmaidens who they'll like, oh yeah, Alec, we need people like you because people listen to white cis men. Like, do they? Do they? I think Blair White has a substantially bigger fucking platform than Alec Gunter, but okay. Yeah, calling that woman a bitch, she seems like super nice. Like, do I have to only like people because they're liberals like me? I don't think cunt's a slur, but the way Alex says feels worse than the N-word. It's a very strong word. It's about the strongest word you can say in English, I would say, apart from the N-word. And there isn't really another word that's quite like the N-word, I guess, but...
That's what
He called me a bootlicker.
Oh no, I triggered them all. I'm sorry.
She approached me in the parking lot after we finished. Is it true that that Alec guy was calling one of the black conservatives a bootlicker? Yes, but I think they edited that out of the Jubilee video.
Earlier in the conversation, this guy revealed that he has 6 friends who are police officers, okay? And he says that, like,
I'll tell you a story if you want. I went to a Trans Day of Remembrance. I think it was 2017 or 2018. I went to the local cult HQ of trans called the Art House by myself. I didn't know anyone, but I was a lot more pro-trans rights kind of stuff at the time. I went by myself. I was like anxious as fuck because I'm an incredibly like socially anxious person. The only person who really spoke to me was a police officer. Like there was a female police officer, probably a lesbian there, like wanting to be part of it. And back then, all this ACAB shit wasn't really so much of a thing. And like, she was like lovely. She made me feel way more at ease, just like chatting to me a bit. Because I obviously looked like I stuck out like a sore thumb. I wasn't friends with anyone. And, you know, I just don't get the whole police thing. I think bigots like this just use it as more excuses to spread their hate, to be honest.
like these police officers like quit during the Black Lives Matter shit, right? Or some shit like that. And I was like, the Black Lives Matter shit, right? Or some shit like that. And I was like, geez, 6 police officer friends. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of police officer friends. So he said this, and I replied with, my guy, you have 6 cop friends. I guarantee you there are 6 very clean sets of boots right now.
So he's peeved that his joke.
Alec Gunter mansplaining gender dysphoria was hilarious. Yes, he got it wrong on another video, so I wanted to ask him that. And the thing is, it's pedantic. The difference between gender incongruence and gender dysphoria is very pedantic. But he's a fucking ally. He's Alec Gunter, debate lord extraordinaire. What the fuck is he doing, you know? His whole channel is a mega circle jerk. Yep, true. ACAP. Yes, I'll get down with that. Listen, I can think of a B word that isn't bastards, that is polite or friendly or whatever, then I'll say ACAB, but it'll mean assign cop at broth.
Joke that the black man cleaned these cops' boots, which means that he licked them clean, which means he's a bootlicker. He's like, they didn't include me dishing out this banger line of this black guy licking these cops' boots clean because he's friends with them. I can't believe they would leave that out. They really screwed me.
Yes, thank you, Hillary. All cops are based. That's our motto now.
Over by not leaving that in. Maybe they were trying to help you, Alec.
All cops are banshot.
And they took that out of the final cut. Oh my god, they did me so fucking dirty. All right, I'll get over it. And he's
Listen, ACAB is mostly a white queer thing from what I can tell. I'm white and supposedly queer, and ACAB is retarded, you're right. Hi, Vlad Art. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's nice to see you. Oh, is it Vlad? I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. Thank you.
they took out your bootlicker zinger, and I'm like, I know they did. I'm so pissed.
I see you once again elevating yourself above the rest of us.
Bitch, you are a bitch. You are a horrible fucking monster, okay?
He's starting to see... He's starting to see what I was up against. There is no way of not getting this guy angry. Like, she's right. If this was any other situation, he'd be agreeing with her. Because white people do elevate themselves over black people, and white people do speak over and for black people. This guy does it to trans people too.
Fuck off.
And particularly at me, a white man elevating himself above a black person.
He called me a bootlicker.
Sorry.
He called me a bootlicker.
Oh no, I triggered them all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm chilling, buddy.
Yes, you are.
The black man says, I'm not triggered, I'm just chilling, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I'm chilling, buddy.
But Alec keeps him in place by letting him know, yes, you are triggered.
No, I triggered them all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm chilling, buddy.
Yes,
So
you
what I
are.
hope comes out of this conversation is that we're all Americans.
I'm very glad that they kept that in where he addressed the hat, because it's so obvious that triggered him. You know what I mean?
Even if they themselves are a black person, they're just a self-loathing.
Oh my god, Actually, it's so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. I can't help but feel a bit bad for him, just because of how utterly embarrassing this is.
Black person, they're just a racist black person.
Yes, self-loathing black person. Yes, like it's one-to-one. All you have to do is change like black to like trans, and it's exactly how he acts towards any trans people he doesn't agree with. So like, how are you like anti-racist? How are you anti-transphobia? You're just another fucking bigot.
That prosecutor was doing his job.
That's my policy. If they disagree with me, they're racist.
If people disagree with you, they're racist
Yes.
in general.
He says that as a joke, but it's true. That's literally how it is. It's true.
He's just,
You never know.
Just
Like
one of those
a hat.
kind of
It's,
moments.
sorry if I triggered you. I'm sorry.
You made a point.
Yes,
You
they
made a
kept it
point.
in. I really don't care what you think I am. I wish I had I wish I'd backfired. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely backfired. I know you meant to say fired back, and you're so cocky and think you're so smart, but you don't realize how much of a lol cow you are, and you were like, yeah, I wish I had backfired. How is this real?
I really don't care what you think I am. I wish I had I wish I'd backfired. You know what I mean?
Grew up conservative, but I did
eye
have more
roll.
left-wing
They're so
ideas about
pissed.
like
I have 6 children, and 2 boys, 4 girls. And all of them went to...
I feel so bad for them.
This
They're all judging me. Look at them fucking staring me.
Oh yeah, just like when Buck Angel is a bad parent because he has views that Alec Gunter disagrees with. Feel sorry for this lady's kids. Once again, I've seen this. This lady seems really nice. She's a conservative. We probably don't agree politically. Is that the end of the fucking world?
Down with daggers, dude. Daggers. They fucking hate me. Okay.
Okay, but you don't really care about homeless veterans, right? Like
that's just
you
a
don't
laughable
support.
idea.
You don't know me.
all your arguments.
He tells the black guy that he doesn't care about homeless veterans,
Okay, but you don't really care about homeless veterans, right?
and then when the black guy says, you don't know me,
You don't know me.
he just starts laughing, and he just starts laughing.
You don't know me.
all your arguments.
I'm so mad.
How much does Alec Gunter care about homeless veterans? Has he ever spoken about homeless veterans ever? You know what? I might as well check. I've got fucking ages today. We've got till 5 o'clock. Well, a bit before 5 o'clock because I need to make sure I'm ready and shit, but... The thing is, if you're going to say, oh, you don't really care about this, shouldn't you make sure that it's something that you've ever given the slightest shit about yourself? Because if not, how are you in a place to give other people shit for that? You know what I mean? No content that matched homeless veteran. Conservatives don't want veterans to have healthcare. Something about boomers. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Oh, so one thing, shouting at conservatives. Nice. What about homeless? Liberals can't solve homelessness. Good luck solving homelessness yourself then. I don't think you're going to get very far, but okay. Unhoused people shitting on Anna Kasparian, who is a smart person. I think she said a lot of very, very correct things. Oh, this looks interesting. Women's Wrongs, the manifesto. I can't tell how genuine this is. Time to talk about toxic femininity. Oh my god, this is going on Watch Later. Fucking hell. Like, I don't care. Like, but yeah, what homeless veteran shit has he ever fucking talked about? Does he give a fuck about homeless veterans? If he doesn't, why is he asking the other person? Why is he telling, the other person that they don't give a shit? Anna's come a long way. Yeah, I agree. For the most part, I agree with a lot of her stuff, you know. There's definitely been things that I don't agree with her on, but she seems like she's very relatable because this is the same kind of path that I've been on where I haven't actually changed my beliefs very much at all. And I feel like I've been left behind by a lot of the left-leaners, you know? It's become incredibly cringe and incredibly insane. And I'm like, this shit wasn't like this 10 years ago. What the fuck?
Ah! I did so good. I'm so mad! Ah! I did so good.
The color of our skin. I mean, as Martin Luther King said.
He also did not like capitalism.
I think something that's really...
She's so pissed! Ah, look at her! Not by the color of skin, but fucking slave! I hate these people. This isn't about love. This is just about making the world a fucking better place. This isn't
Like, why does he hate them? Why can't he handle, like, conversation? Why can't he handle talking to someone that has different opinions to him? I mean, Jesus Christ, at least back then, he wasn't in the habit of running away from every debate that gets mildly difficult for him. But, like, Jesus.
about me personally loving this bitch or this cunt, okay? Like, I don't love these people.
Did I earn this position myself, or did my ancestors' suffering earn this for me?
And two, I've seen it.
I'm actually also a bit disappointed because I don't think he called me a bitch or a cunt or anything. Oh, he called me some stuff, but it was mostly just like stupid. So it's like, I don't know. I could have done better. My speedrun attempt of Alec Gunter rage quitting was actually quite pathetic, to be honest. I think it's okay given my stature as like a 1.45k whatever streamer. But like Harmful Opinions got him less than 20 minutes. And it took me almost 90. So yeah, I definitely regrets there, but hey.
Who fucking cares?
I love how the black guy is like, did I earn this?
Oh, the who cares argument. That's what you do when none of your other arguments work. Just be like, oh, well, who cares? Why do you care? Why does someone have to justify where they care about something? Can they just not care about it? Can they just not be interested in that? Can they just not think there's something up and want to talk about it? So no, who cares? Like, who cares? He was about to call you a bit. There was at least one point where I was like, I think he held himself back.
This position, or was it given to me? And Alec comes in with, who cares? Why do you care? You come from thousands of years of cave people. What do you give a shit?
Yep, easiest thing to counter in the world. I don't have to justify to you why I care.
Your ancestors' suffering earned everything for you. If your ancestors hadn't done what they did, you wouldn't be here, and you certainly would not be enjoying the fruits of their suffering, regardless of if they're black, white, or whatever. Okay, you live in a society that began being built like thousands
hi, Cassie.
upon thousands of years ago. They all suffered for your benefit. That's such a stupid way of looking at this. It's like, why the fuck do you care?
I mean, the black guy cares. That's what the conversation is about. Affirmative action. I love how Alec makes up an awful argument and then goes, what a stupid argument that is that I just made up. What an idiot. But let's get a little more intimate with Alec. Let's see where this all started and how far he's come in his political journey.
Thank you, Vorney. I appreciate that.
Sometime during college and then afterwards, especially during COVID, my sister actually indoctrinated me into a more leftist position. And
Oh, so we literally just got indoctrinated. I mean, I knew as much. Like, these people that swing between like far left to far right and stuff like that, or the other way around. Like, why would you listen to someone like that? I just don't know. I just don't know. They haven't thought about any of this shit.
Overcorrected a little bit. I started becoming pretty cringy as far as like, sit down and let the minorities all talk, right? Don't say anything, don't speak over them, etc. They would, it was like the whole, you can't speak over Candace Owens, even if she's literally a Nazi kind of thing. So
he's acting as if letting the black people speak would have been cringe. So instead he talks over them constantly. Interesting.
He's so mad. He's so mad. He's so mad.
A black guy getting mad at racism? Interesting.
I stand by that. So, yeah, I kind of leveled out, thankfully, and I'm less cringe now.
Did you? Are you? I cringed.
This is what imagine if we would have been here a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
even Density is roasting you, bro. Even Density. Even the man with the butt plug, God knows where in his anatomy at this point, is roasting you. Take the hint, bro. His sister became trans and he stopped saying that N-word. Oh my.
I'm being cringe. Who cares?
We did it, boys. We found it. Pure, raw, uncut autism. I don't know what's lower, his self-awareness or the affect in his fucking face.
They argue that it's more racist nowadays because it excludes so many Asian Americans from getting into university.
Yeah, totally.
They deserve a spot and they can't get in because of affirmative action, which, again, like you were saying.
See, but that's not true. They don't bar people who have higher qualifications from getting in. They don't do that. Student who self-identifies as Asian will need 100.
Such a fucking retard. Like, black people, I think by affirmative action or whatever it is, this is very, very, like, vague. I don't know that much, but it's like black people tend to not need as high grades. White people are in the middle, and like Asians tend to need higher grades, like by affirmative action. I can't remember like the details of it, but it is something like that. He doesn't know fuck all about anything. It's terrifying.
140 SAT points higher than whites, 320 SAT points higher than Hispanics, and 450 SAT points higher than African Americans. National Study of College Experience. Well, I don't know enough about that, honestly. They don't.
How come? How come if I say I don't know something, I don't have the answer to a specific question? I'm like the world's worst fucking person. Oh, you don't know anything. You're just a fucking retard troll. He just said the same thing. Like, it literally is linked. Literally, look up Eppenshade and Radford, 2009, if you don't believe it. I don't, oh man. Why do people watch this?
National Study of College Experience. Well, I don't know enough about that, honestly. They don't bar people who have higher qualifications from getting in. They don't do that. I don't know enough about that, honestly.
You know what sucks is like, I didn't realize how much I was parodying him by being a bit of a cock in our conversation.
Why do you assume that just because there is a disparity means it's because of a racial issue?
What else would it be from?
Bitch! You are a bitch!
So if you're going to get rid of affirmative action, what's the replacement?
Meritocracy.
There's no meritocracy in this country. Look at Elon Musk. He's destroying Twitter. There's no meritocracy. That's ridiculous.
Did this squid really just say, you think meritocracy exists? Look at Twitter.
Because I would posit that the people who are least likely to have good outcomes in an academic setting are those who have to work 2 jobs. These are and have other stresses in their life. They can't afford a doctor. They can't afford a dentist. They can't afford anything.
I had to do that too, though.
Those are the
That's
people.
not just black people. It's not just.
But it's over.
And that's the liberal, by the way. That's the other fucking liberal chiming in there. She's like, well,
See? All she did is disagree with him. And he's going nuts. Like, by himself, mind you. He just sits there and takes it on the thing because he's a bit of a bitch. How's he got 30k subs? Honestly, I think this Jubilee shit, like, you've got plenty of, like, retard fucking radical types. And loads of trans people get sucked into this kind of thing. They'll love this kind of shit. They eat it up. So even though, like, 99% of people watching can instantly tell that this guy is fucking screw loose as fuck, there's gonna be people that think this is cool, and it sucks. Because it's not. It's like the furthest thing from cool possible.
I had to go through that. Oh no. I was really hoping they took this question out. I went to sit down for this. No. Don't do it, man. Don't do it, man. No.
I think that President Trump supports.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Oh, man. I think they took out my Trump
Wait, is this self-reflection? This is a very rare moment we are seeing.
impression.
So I don't see why someone would think that President Trump doesn't support Black lives.
I've heard him say,
No, don't do this to me. No. Oh God. It's going to be so bad. Oh God.
What is that RuPaul quote? It's something like, don't blame it on the edit. You're the one who said it.
Okay, just players.
He knows all the best black people. He has all the best black friends. I do support black people all the time. So sorry, that was a very bad impression, but
okay, it wasn't. I don't think
it wasn't as bad as an impression of me.
Okay, it wasn't that bad.
He's been speaking horribly to this black man the entire time and keeps calling him triggered after the fact. And look at the look in his face. Imagine how brave you have to be to say this to this black person's face because you're a leftist and he's a conservative. Isn't that so brave?
Like Trump, he's an attention whore. He does the attention whore thing better than Elon Musk does. Okay, let's just put it that way. He's like Elon.
You're a streamer. Do you get to make that fucking criticism? You want to call me an attention whore because I sit in front of a camera and people watch? Then sure, okay.
Musk light kind of. He's like a different flavor of Elon Musk.
He made the economy good, and so the economy then impacted black
he did do the things that make the economy go line go up.
White people, Latino people.
He made the economy good, baby.
But Trump,
like, who's the economy good for right now? Like, if he made the economy so good, why is it currently?
We are listening to a leftist right now process how the economy was good under Trump and now under Biden it's bad. This is the cognitive dissonance that has to happen to understand that.
Isn't it? Wait, it's getting better right now, right? Under Biden, like with all the labor union action stuff. But like when Biden took office, the economy was in the shitter. Granted, it was in the midst of COVID, to be fair. But it's not like it was like doing so great right before COVID either, right? I have to look into it. And I was like, yeah.
Wow, well done on injecting a bit of nuance for once. And again, I'd have to look into it. This was crime of the century when I said stuff like that. Listen, I will admit that I don't know everything. He used to apparently also admit that he doesn't know everything, but I guess that went out the window. I guess what we're experiencing here is like negative growth.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm pretty extreme leftist. I'm not gonna, I'm not going to back off of that, but I don't really care about the label. I believe in things that are good, and that's it.
And then George Floyd dies, and initially I was like enraged like everybody else, and then it started to...
initially I acted normal about it, and I was like, yeah, maybe the police shouldn't kill people who are overdosing on fentanyl.
How is...
Oh, Cassie, you're talking to that Jessica Gill, aren't you? I'll have to check that out. I doubt I'll like react to it or anything, but I'll definitely watch.
Being enraged about a news story normal, especially during a global...
Fun fact, myself and Jessica Gill got into some really heated like argument on Twitter about I don't even know what. I think it kind of calmed down after a bit, and she seems alright, honestly. I don't honestly have a problem with her. Like, Twitter is where everyone becomes the worst version of themselves. But yeah, it's, funny anecdote. I doubt she even remembers, and it's fine.
Pandemic, as if you didn't have other things to worry about. Also, the cops couldn't have known that he was, I'm glad you said, overdosing on fentanyl. Also, George Floyd was 6'4" and Derek Chauvin was 5'9". That's like a fantasy fight in MMA, and George Floyd would have to know virtually nothing about fighting, and Derek Chauvin would have to know virtually everything about fighting for that match to happen.
Initially, I was like enraged like everybody else, and then it started to...
Initially...
I don't actually know what he was talking about just then.
Yeah, I acted normal about it, and I was like, yeah, maybe the police shouldn't kill people who are overdosing on fentanyl. Maybe that would be a good thing to do, or a good thing to stop. But then I was like, no, actually, I'm going to be a bad person.
In second grade, when they taught us about slavery, almost every kid in my classroom would spend their entire time looking at black kids in that classroom. How was I supposed to not think, wow, these people are feeling guilty for something that they have no...
Yeah, listen, people I get in fights with on Twitter, I don't normally go away thinking much about them. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm terrible on Twitter as well. I'm trying to like keep off it as much as I can because I don't think it's going to help me in the long run. But like, I'm not saying that because I think they must be a terrible person because we disagreed on something. If Jubilee does another trans episode, they can't keep bringing Blossom on. Makes it look as if they think she's the voice of trans people. Oh, yeah. That's just kind of happen. I know what happens. Oh, hi, Baldo. So we are talking at 5 p.m. It's currently almost 2:30. So we got 2.5 hours.
No involvement in it. I have no involvement.
I'm going to be honest. I think Twitter was always awful. I hated it back then. I only went back on it because of my streaming stuff. And it blew my mind that like 4 years later, we've still got all these transoids and like so-called progressives like atting J.K. Rowling to like call her a bitch and stuff. It's like, just leave her alone at this point. We should have been doing that to begin with. I think George wasn't overdosing. No, I'm not aware that he was. Like, you knee on someone's neck long enough, they're probably going to choke. That's just kind of how it is. Like, shit, Oh no, but Steven Crowder proved it wasn't real, so I guess.
In my classroom, understood the context.
People hate feeling uncomfortable. Obviously, you don't want to
See, when they give anecdotes, just fucking make shit up that's exactly the opposite. Lie back. Just lie back. Just say, no, in my second grade class, they all understood the context. We learned about slavery and everything was hunky-dory. So now what? Now what? Now you have nothing. I thought that I came off looking pretty damn good. I think I did a pretty damn good job. And I think that those little snide remarks that I make were perfect for this format. If you're going to, like get a point across in a format like this, what I've learned from this experience is those little quips are perfect because you don't have a guarantee that anything that you say is going to be kept in. So if you like get a word in while somebody's kind of on a monologue,
this guy like actually masturbates in front of his mirror, doesn't he?
Just like throw a little quip in like, okay, but you don't really care about homeless veterans. I think that works very effectively.
Of course you think that, but let's see what other people think about your performance.
Why do you assume that just because there is a disparity means it's because of a racial issue?
What else would it be from?
I mean,
Upbringing, economic abilities,
Desire to
skills.
go, desire to
so
it was
does
their
play a lot. If you grow up in a neighborhood that experiences a lot of trauma, you're not as likely to do as well in school.
go, desire to.
So it was their
does play a lot. If you
Desire to go. So it's their fault. Like, that's so crazy. Destiny looks happier, lol. I'm guessing this was recently. This was like a couple of years ago. I remember this. This is how I know who this person is. And then they started like stirring up drama in other areas. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is for me. This guy looks hilarious. So I've known about this guy for a decently long time. Possible that some of the troonery was born from misandrous. Yeah, true.
you grow up in a neighborhood that experiences a lot of trauma, you're not as likely to do as well in school, which means.
Why did they grow up in a neighborhood that experiences a lot of trauma?
I mean, lots of people do.
And you could sit around for as
Like, asking a question like that, there's so many different answers. It's, jeez.
long as you wanted with your girlfriends, talking about Roe v. Wade and talking about overthrowing the patriarchy in the hope that one day you might get your pee-pee touched.
She gave one pee-pee touch. Okay.
But my favorite moment there was when Alec said, what else would it be, when talking about the reason for disparities. Guys, if you weren't convinced that people are being indoctrinated into a skin-deep ideology, one where any...
Yeah, Callie, that's right. It was like 2 years ago-ish. Yeah.
disparity that exists has to be because of racism, and they see racism absolutely everywhere and in everything. This video should be the final proof that you need. This guy is so indoctrinated that he actually can't see anything but racism.
So the name of the show that I'm on is called, I think it's called Fuck Your Face with Facts and... Oh, no, sorry. It's not that one. It's not the Fuck Your Face with Facts and Logic episode. It's called Middle Ground. That's the name of this show. The name of the show is Middle Ground, okay? When you go on the show, they tell you, don't attack people, let people speak. Our goal is to have a conversation and to try to find middle ground, because that's the name of the show, okay? You can kind of see maybe why my intonation and my approach to the episode was a little bit more conciliatory than I would be on the Fuck Your Face with Facts and Logic show, okay?
He's wanted to do to my people. So that's why I feel so strongly about it, because it is these policies that date back centuries that were built off of the death and poverty of my people.
Let's take a breath. So,
I'm breathing.
Okay.
Oh God, this guy's so condescending. Oh my God, he's so condescending. Oof.
I just don't understand why you think affirmative action has accomplished its purpose. I don't see
Curious.
that.
Why
How is it affirmative action's job to completely and totally fix everything? Like, is that our standard for?
do you assume that just because there is a disparity means it's because of a racial issue?
What else would it be from?
I mean,
This guy also is.
Have I been accused of transphobia? I don't think so. There's the odd person who put comments on the video being like, oh, Alec won, and I'm like, I don't really treat conversations like sports myself, so I don't care about that. No one's really called me a transphobe, but I get a sort of low level of idiots cropping up to call me a transphobe now and then anyway. And then there was someone in his chat that was trying to make out, they were being like, oh, Alec, I'd really love to talk to you about my experience with Mary. Their experience with me was me not gendering someone correctly that they think I should have gendered correctly. This person like sends graphic material of slaughterhouses to children and talks about trans issues despite having been trans for 20 minutes to children. So I don't have any reason. Oh, and they put selfies of themselves with their cock showing through their trousers. So it's like, I don't respect your gender. I'm sorry. Like, that was literally it. And a few people were mean in my Discord because my Discord isn't a troon fucking space. You know what I mean? But they're like, I want to tell you my experiences with Mary. And it's literally nothing. I ended up messaging them whilst I was still alive, and we had a bit of a conversation. And then the other one is that Ember person who we're going to get onto. This is leading to something. This isn't actually more content. It's just, this is a preamble, you know what I mean?
Constantly trying to dialogue tree race realism. I don't know how much that'll come through on this, but in the entire thing, he was constantly trying to dialogue tree. Well, if it's not that, what else explains it? Is it black genes? Is it black genetics? Is it black, like, constantly?
What's the replacement?
Meritocracy.
There's no meritocracy in this country. Look at Elon Musk. He's destroying Twitter. There's no meritocracy.
It's like everybody has the most soy random talking about. It's like, how can I shoehorn Elon Musk into this conversation? Like, little bro, what are we talking about? Why? How? What? What is the relevant? Why? What?
Remember when Alex said,
I thought that I came off looking pretty damn good. I think I did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, I bet you do. I get it. Like, now and then. I don't know. To be honest, like, I don't know. Most people seem to get, like, supposed cis people, like, hating on them constantly, but that's not really my experience. Like, the kind of cis people that hate on me is, like, people like this.
Job. And I think that those little snide remarks that I make were perfect for this format.
well, he also said,
If you just own the fucking savior complex thing, like, it disarms them. They don't know how to respond to that. Because you could see they just turn into a crying, you're speaking over me. Please, no, stop.
well, after a good night's sleep and several conversations in the shower, he managed
Just say you're a bigot. Just honestly, just say it. Just say you're a bigot.
to walk these things back on Twitter. But first, Let's hear him really feel good about himself before I show you that.
I did everything in my power to get as much screen time as possible, to get as much voice in as possible, to vocalize my opinions as much as possible, keep the camera on me. I'm the star. I'm the one with the right answers. Okay?
Yeah.
That was my goal, and I did it.
Dude, totally.
And I fucking did it. So cope and see.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I've also been 13.
Look, everyone's talking about me. Half of these comments are fucking about me, dude.
How is he not the living, breathing embodiment of the meme of the guy who pees his pants in front of everybody, and then he's like,
Yeah, this is him as fuck.
haha, rent free, they're thinking about me.
This was him like talking to me somehow. I don't know how. He should have wiped the floor with me. I thought he was insane for even taking on the conversation. Just because someone like that really should not talk to someone like me. Someone who is actually trans and has skin in the game. Like, it's a complete mistake for anyone like him to talk to me. But he should have wiped the floor with me.
Yes, you got up in front of everybody and you peed your pants, and now they're talking about how you peed your pants.
What else do you want? I told y'all I fucking did it. I was the star.
The next day on Twitter, Alec copes, on my Jubilee appearance, I think I did better than a lot of people would have done under that sort of pressure and in that format, but I was more abrasive than I initially intended to be.
And I think that those little snide remarks that I make were perfect for this format.
A lot of footage.
Let me guess, there's another thing. There's another stream after this one where he has to walk half the fucking edgelord shit back that he said in that stream. I bet that happened. I can't remember. All this because I don't agree being a trans person is a state of being. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to have the doctrine or you're a bad person, and it sucks. And I will annoy the internet into trying to change that at least a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing bad about that. It's people seem to think that if you say that about yourself, you must be saying it about others, which I guess you are in a way, but people have the right to have whatever opinions they want. I have the right to have whatever opinions about another person that I want, really.
Used was from the end of the shoot, and I didn't have the same jokey energy. Also, Destiny being there was a huge surprise, and I felt like I had to outshine him. While that got me more attention, the trade-off is that I came off looking indignant and self-righteous at times.
What I've learned from this experience is those little quips are perfect.
I had some good one-liners and managed to irritate them more than once. Moving forward, I want to put more—
Why is irritating like black conservatives in any way the goal here? Like what? Being funny and poking fun at conserv. Like, why do they even get people like this on? Like, I get why, but like, I don't know. There's no point. There's no point talking to people like this. People like this, you either bully them or you ignore them. There's two things you can do. And listen, I'm not saying I support bullying people. What I do support is more trans people talking to people like this, who are toxic as fuck allies that are representing us, even though people keep telling Alec Gunter, hey, we don't really want your representation. People need to keep at it. More trans people need to confront people like these. You don't have to be a debate lord. You just have to be able to get these people talking. And you just have to not be a fucking soy freak yourself. It's not hard.
More focus on being funny and poking fun at conservatives rather than acting pretentious. So Alec, you wanted attention, and now you have it. Welcome to the channel. I have Stuttering John, Sam Cedar. I was looking for a third chair. You're an excellent addition to the channel. Promise me you'll keep peeing your pants, and I promise you'll keep living rent-free.
Oh, you went to private. Is it much more? Oh, 40 quid a month. I mean, that's a bit more, I guess. I can't afford it myself, but hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm just here for a good time.
In my head. But this isn't fair. You're not here to defend yourself, so I'll give you the last word and send us off into a sweet, sweet dream with your narcissism.
You guys want to know a secret? I know this is random. Let me go back a little bit. So, I look... I don't even look like muscular, like in the way you would think a muscular person looks. I just look round. But like just in the shoulder area, you know what I mean? Like just here. You guys want to know the secret?
Guys, so insecure. Oh my god.
I brought workout bands with me and did workouts right before I went on. I'm not kidding. That's like I got a pump going. That's how I look the way I did here. Anyway, sorry.
He worked out so he could look a bit more jacked for Jubilee. Holy shit. So we got confirmed racist, sexist, piece of shit, Alec Gunter, who works out immediately before his Jubilee appearance so that he can look as jack as possible. Not that he's, you know, insecure or anything. And I showed you a comment earlier from one of his toadies called Ember, who I happen to know who this person is in terms of like YouTube. Let me just get it back very quickly for purposes. Yeah, this person here. This was this person right after he rage quit our debate. Oh, hi, Serena. Right after he rage quit our debate. And she's been talking about allies, which is interesting. So we're going to do a bit of that. one of Alec Gunter's toadies telling us how to be a trans ally. Here we go, Book of Ember. It's the same person you can see. This is 6 tips for trans allies. This was 15 hours ago. Same person showing up in a trans ally stream where said trans ally was shitting all over a trans person. Not that we're pick-me's. Anyway, let's see what the 6 tips for trans allies are.
Hello, folks. I've been asked to participate in a panel on another channel about how allies can help trans people over the next 4 years here in the United States. And I've prepared 6 relatively straightforward and easy tips.
Yeah, she's well prepared because she watched notable, not at all racist or sexist trans ally, quote unquote, Alec Gunter. So she really knows what she's on about. You know what I mean? And she's been trans for at least like 2 months or something. So, hey, you know, why listen to someone like me who's been trans for almost 10 years? Like that's preposterous, you know?
I thought I'd put them here as well because they might be useful to some people. So there are 6 of them. Quick bullet points: show up, speak up, stand up, step up, study up, and reverse.
Yeah, why listen to people who've been trans for 50 years? Yeah, the kind of people who experienced something for 45 years and then something very, very different for 5 years. But that's totally the direction we should go in, guys. You know what I mean?
I have to be quirky. Okay, show up.
Wait, why are we quirky?
Study up, and reverse. Because I can't, I have to be quirky.
Okay, it makes no sense, but hey.
Okay, show up. This one, pretty self-explanatory. If there's an event, whether it's a parade, a protest, or election day, whatever it is where people being present helps.
People being present, how does that help, for example, in an election? Like, whoever wins is going to win. Like, Jan 6th didn't work. If the fucking Dems had anything planned, I guess it's still time to find out, but most likely they're not going to try and stop Trump entering the White House for a second term. I don't know what she's talking about here. Is it all going to be like vague as fuck? I bet it is, but we're going to find some way of dragging the gunt shit in there. As someone who housed a transsexual in their home, I can confirm it was different in the 80s. Hi, Democron. I can confirm it was different in like 2016, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. Things changed. Things weren't always this way. And a lot of people just slowly went crazy. And then I slowly went crazy too, because being around trans people and all of them are going crazy is not great, is it?
Do the thing. Second, speak up. When someone is being a bigot, say something. Tell them that shit is not cool. But
yeah, the problem is how you define bigots. A is very faulty. B sometimes means that you end up supporting bigots, like Alex Gunt, for example.
Also, talk to people. Talk to your representatives.
What does this person feel, do you reckon, about Alec Gunter calling an old black woman a bitch? Do you reckon she's cool with that? Like, if that was like your friend and you happen to have a conservative black female friend who's conservative but also sweet and a nice person generally, would you be cool with him calling them a bitch?
Representatives, Democrat and Republican, let them know they can't get away with ignoring us, blaming us, or putting us down.
What does any of that mean? Fuck knows. These people speak in fucking riddles.
But talk to regular people too. People at work, people out and about. Normalize people talking about us outside
No, this is Mr. Doubtfire.
of the context of legal controversy or the horrible stuff the politicians keep trying to do to us. Talk
like what?
About us as if we were people.
God, fucking old white transsexuals are clearly the most fucking put upon, the most discriminated against people in history. The new name Chameleon. No, it's Ember. I actually big Charmander fan or something. I don't fucking know.
The third one, stand up. Fairly simple. When someone needs help, help them. Now this...
Yeah, so for example, if you're an ally and you've got a trans person who's feeling a kind of way and wants someone to talk through their kind of thoughts and feelings with, you know, be there for them. Maybe don't try and debate bro them and make out that they're a terrible person because they believe different things to you. Oh shit. She was literally defending someone doing that very thing. Ha.
This isn't trans specific. This goes for literally anyone. Just be a good person.
Be a good person. So call people stupid, call people bitches if they don't agree with you, call people bootlickers for the terrible crime of being friends with some police people. Yeah, be a good person. Yeah, and support good people. No, you don't believe that, do you?
Of course, be safe. Don't overextend yourself. You're no help to anybody if you've exhausted all your resources. But do what you can and show that it should be normal to be a good person, because that's something the United...
Oh, hi, Chris. Yes, fully agree. Fuck the progress flag. I will tolerate, like, the OG rainbow, and that's literally about it at this point, because fuck pride as well. Hope you're good.
United States seem to have forgotten. Fourth, step up. Don't just stand with us when there is an obvious and immediate threat. Find ways to practice active inclusion. This means more than just tolerating our existence and protecting us from harm when there is an obvious and immediate threat. Find ways to just stand with us when there is an obvious and immediate threat.
When there is an obvious and immediate threat.
Find ways to practice active inclusion.
Find ways to practice active inclusion. Is it just me, or is that the weirdest sentence I've ever heard? What the fuck does that mean? If someone's being threatened or threatening someone, you don't, oh, how can I be inclusive in this situation? No, you probably defend the person. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This means more than just tolerating our existence and protecting us from harm, but going the extra mile to make it clear we are wanted, and use language to make it clear that our presence is normal.
Please, cis people, please, folks, please put us at the center of your world. Please feed our fucking narcissism, please.
Make inclusive jokes, for example, to offset the phobic nonsense permeating the culture.
Make inclusive jokes. What? How many, like, cis jokes and, like, straight people jokes and, like, white people jokes do you think this person makes? Or, if they don't make them personally, how often do you think they just kind of let that shit slide?
Just vibe with us.
We're not going to vibe together, I'm sorry. There were two leftist people in Chicago. They published election guide recommending abstaining because Kamala wasn't an ally. Welcome to Trump. Wisconsin went to Trump by 30K votes. Yeah, I get you. But hey, if our so-called thought leaders are gonna say ridiculous shit that makes people do things against their interests, we get what we deserve, frankly. What if the person is being the obvious immediate threat? I don't know. I don't know what this person is talking about.
Fifth, study up. A large number of allies, especially within the secular community, want to debate on our behalf. While we appreciate people speaking up for us, and with the caveat that allies should not become so enthusiastic that they speak over us.
He does it constantly. Why do you support a guy that does that constantly? He did it to me. You watch his Marcus Dibb video, which I mentioned several times in our conversation. He does that constantly, telling Marcus Dibb how stupid he is, saying he's not a man and stuff like that, calling him evil for having a certain opinion on a certain fucking thing. Like, this is like hypocrisy. Like, you watched a guy, I don't know if you filmed this like before or after you were sucking Alex's dick after our debate or our conversation or whatever, but like, bruv, like, how do you keep a straight face saying this shit? This person is an inclusive joke. Agree. Hi, YP. I hope you're good.
While we appreciate people speaking up for us, and with the caveat that
I don't. Just don't. If in doubt, just don't. Just don't.
That allies should not become so enthusiastic that they speak over us.
But she doesn't actually care about that. And if she did, she wouldn't be supporting Alex Gunt.
A whole lot of people simply do not know what the heck they're talking about. Goodwill and enthusiasm only go so far. I'm not saying don't debate someone. Challenge the bad ideas out there, But I am saying learn about the subject before you try to engage.
Yeah, for example, if you're a trans ally and you don't even know what gender dysphoria is, should you be speaking up, let alone against trans people? It's funny how she doesn't seem to notice how utterly hypocritical all this is. When she's patting Alec on the back after the debate, literally.
You lose and be counterproductive.
I think Pride nowadays is meant to support people who want everyone to know about their sex life and what they do with their sex life and what they do behind closed doors, despite the fact that closed doors are closed for reasons.
In your efforts. This should be obviously true for any other subject. You wouldn't debate a philosophy bro on the teleological argument without some knowledge about how natural processes defeat the design argument. Yet, when it comes to GSM people, our healthcare, or related subjects, some people effectively show up to a battle of wits unarmed. Beyond that, understanding what the current state of affairs and what issues we are facing collectively and within our various subgroups can help you be a much more effective supporter in everything else you do. And last, reverse. If you see a hateful person like Nancy Mace or Matt Walsh doing something, it's a good bet
how are either of those people hateful?
That doing the opposite is the moral thing to do.
Okay, well, once again, your boy literally does the same shit, but with the added thing in the middle where it's justified somehow. So I don't know.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps.
That was utterly retarded and even more hilarious in the context of this person being in Alec Gunter's chat. Anyway, there's more. This person who hangs out with a fucking bigot went on a thing about allies. What can we do for our friends? This is Godless Granny. There's going to be some funny things that come up. So we'll just let it roll for a sec. All right, so we got Christian theology is nonsense. Lovely. Trans rights, human rights. I need to get that clip because I love it. There was no global flood. Amazing. Empower women. This is why we have men that pretend to be women on our panel.
Whoops, I have audio playing on another tab. There we go. Okay. Hello and welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us. Today's stream is something that I wanted to do because of what is going on in politics. And I know a lot of people are sick of hearing it and they don't want to talk.
Yeah, I don't know for a fact, but these progressive atheist hack fucks, none of them ever talk about Islam. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hi, Lorixal. I hope you're good. Hi, Gypsy Lee as well. And hi, Chocho. I didn't see you earlier.
About it, and I totally get that. But on the other hand, there's some things that I think we've got to talk about, which is how are we going to handle it? And particularly the reason I wanted to do this stream was because there are a lot of people that are going to be hurting during the next 4 years.
This is fun. I don't even know who's talking right now.
They're coming after women. They're coming after healthcare. They're coming after education. They're coming after gay people. But they're coming hard after transgender people. And I think there are going to be so many people caught up in how to protect their own group that
Well, it's very simple. Put up a GoFundMe so you can waste a whole bunch of other people's money from within your community. So you can move to a blue state and then probably end up somewhere you don't actually like very much and realize that you should have just stayed where you were. And now you've wasted loads of your own community's money.
I'm afraid the transgender people are
Oh yeah, they're coming hard. Don't worry about that.
Going to get overlooked because
I mean, look at the beautiful assembly of definitely women we have here. Of course they're coming hard.
They are a small segment of the population. Those that are trying to be the voices of reason are going to be so busy with other causes that they're going to forget to protect the transgender people. And so I wanted
Listen, we've got ages. This is the clip I'm talking about.
4:50 p.m. At this time, I'm placing you under arrest on suspicion of inciting violence. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely on in court.
By the way, trans woman, ex-con, kidnapped and tortured, I think, a boy when this person himself was like 18 or something. Assaulted someone else in jail. Was in there a long time, cut his own balls off for whatever reason. Went up on stage in front of a bunch of people saying punch women in the face. Or sorry, punch TERFs in the face. Because there's a huge difference between those two statements.
Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Ellie, do you think she's trying to symbol that she's a man? Signal, sorry.
The necessity for the arrest is to conduct a prompt and effective investigation and to prevent any further attempted harm to yourself or anybody else. Have you got any response that you'd like to call?
Yes.
Okay.
Trans rights are human rights, one struggle, one fight.
Trans rights, human rights.
Those cuffs okay like that, you're not too tight now?
That's fine, officer.
Relatively loose.
Even got the flag here. Not that we're a cult or anything.
You're good.
Trans rights are human rights. They won't get rid of us. Our existence is our resistance. You remember that.
Can I come in the car with that?
Fringe. Hi, James Latter. Agree with her on Matt Walsh. He's a scumbag. Is he? I don't know. Mace comes off as she's just a little frightened and just needs dialogue. Maybe, to be honest, I do think she's like jumping on like a trend. Like it's a huge thing in the media right now. But the problem is we've made it like that way. Like, I don't know. The activist types need to start copying to all their mistakes, which there have been a lot of.
To have a stream specifically aimed at allies with a panel of transgender people to tell us.
Yes, so all of these males want to tell us that we should suck off people like Alec Gunter, who are massive fucking hypocrites, massive fucking bigots. Because it's allyship. It's allyship now. That's why we love bigots, I guess.
Us and help us know what can we do to help you through the next 4 years. And so I have Ember, Purple, Bree, Jenny, and Stephanie.
By the way, they called her Amber. Oof.
All give us a hand with that. Thank you, ladies, for coming.
Absolutely.
Worries. We are the transpositions.
It's a pleasure. I'd say it's a pleasure, but it's also it's more of a tragedy in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, Jenny and I have never been on your show, so what's that make us, like the woman's auxiliary?
Jenny was supposed to be on twice, and then but you've been on great.
Did you see the poor 10-year-old child saying they're afraid they would be killed in the streets? Jesus Christ, that's like indoctrination as fuck. I've never, like, when I was 10, did I give a shit who was running the country? Is that normal? I don't know.
We won't cancel next time you're available, Jenny. It's just let us.
Also, sorry, I'm just making sure these beautiful, clearly all women have enough screen time on my thing. You know what? I'll put myself. Here we go. We're crashing another panel. This is like Dollcast again, but not. And I guess my chat is just gonna have to go over my face. That's fine though. I don't mind. Listen, we're in with Godless Granny. We can hang out with Ember. Maybe she'll invite Alex Gunt later, and I can invite Mischief to him.
No, and we'll be sure to actually have you on the show.
Yeah.
They're coming hard after bodily autonomy. It's easy to pick on trans people because no one understands them. Is that because all our shit is insane? Is that because pretending to be a woman is a bit insane? Is that because nobody is born in the wrong body and to think so is insane? This is a stupid comment.
Yeah, Maya, as always, is absolutely correct. Direct to the insight and the wisdom.
Yep, Maya has hit the nail on the head.
Correct about what? Bodily autonomy? What bodily autonomy are they coming for? It might be a bit hard, like, fucking hell. I don't even agree. Like, any measures they take against like adults transitioning, I don't even agree with them. I don't think they should be doing that. But like bodily autonomy, why not say what's really happening? Through a GoFundMe. I feel really bad. Someone sent me like a voucher or something, but I couldn't get it working. And I felt too bad saying something like, you know, because they already spent money on it. And I don't know. I'll sort it one day. It's gonna be when I'm not clearing my bank out every time the fucking building company wants money from me.
Yeah, well, I think what people kind of need to look at is that the trans people were going to be kind of used as the test case for what they can get away with.
As if we haven't been for like years now. The test case for what people can get away with. Oh, I don't know. What about transitioning children? Wasn't that kind of the same thing?
So if you let them steamroller over us, they're going to assume that they can take down any other minority group just
absolutely meaningless. And she's nodding. What the fuck is wrong with you?
as easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Jenny had some specific things that she wanted to present, and I've got some slides.
We can wait on that. It doesn't have to be first up.
Oh, I was thinking it would make a good starting point to let people know exactly what the problem is. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
frame things.
The documents I've provided Granny with, I came across online.
They're trying to codify there are only two sexes, but there are only two sexes. This will be disastrous for intersex people. It's called DSDs. Most of them are male or female. Trans people, literally how trans people generally go from one to the other. And if we started like calling trans people like transsexual and that's what it is, and then all the other shit is like non-binary or queer or whatever, it'd be so much easier. Two-spirit people, literally, okay? Non-binary people are literally just people that call themselves non-binary. It's a completely circular thing. It means nothing. This is a stupid fucking thing.
Fine. As we know, one of the primary things that the Nazis are planning is to eradicate trans people from the face of the earth. That the Nazis are planning.
The Nazis. Well, it took almost 4 minutes for someone to mention the Nazis, I guess. That's not bad.
Is to eradicate trans people from the face of the earth. And the first step in doing that is making us the biggest other out there.
This is conspiracy theory. They're probably going to restrict stuff. Is it so that they can wipe trans people off the face of the earth? No. They probably don't want us transitioning children, transitioning extremely mentally ill people, like some of the ones I watch on here. And it's actually quite difficult, because I'm not here to sit and make fun of trans people just indiscriminately. If they say dumb shit, then yeah, I'll make fun of them. But sometimes the people I watch are like extremely vulnerable, like mentally ill people who seem to think that this is going to help them in some way. And it sucks, you know what I mean?
Making us the biggest I hate you out there. And this is part of what they're doing. This bill that they're going to be introducing is going...
By the way, who's they? I guess they mean the government. Like, I don't know. I'm hearing they an awful lot, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. It just sounds like conspiracy shit to me. I appreciate I say things like the trans cult and shit like that. But hey, I can actually justify the things I say, so.
Going to redefine what had been approved for years, that trans people may not change their birth marker on their passport.
Is that the end of the world?
Okay, whatever it says on that
isn't there an argument for why should we be able to like basically falsify our documents?
Birth certificate is what you get, period. Hi, Sandy. And along with that,
I don't feel right using ad blockers, to be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure you can get banned for doing stuff like that.
You know, bills usually have definitions and stuff, so that we know exactly what this bill is talking about and what it's referring to. And this one gives all the definitions for gender, identity, sex, medications, birth certificate. It defines everything.
Yeah, just defining things isn't good enough, but sure.
And basically puts us out of existence, as we promised it would. But not enough people.
How can they be stopping trans people from existing, when by these people's definition, being trans is just identifying as something. You can't, like, get rid of those people because anyone can just identify, meaning new people will always be there. What are they talking about?
In the country seem to have listened or cared. So we're going to be not existing.
Oh, hi, Hillary. We are talking about, well, I've got onto a panel. Shh, shh, shh. They don't know yet. They don't know yet. Oh, Ember has come as, what's the symbol for pedophilia? She's come as that. Yeah, we're not watching. We're in this panel with Godless Granny and Alec Gunter's, one of Alec Gunter's trans harem here, Ember. It's a good job it says she, her here, because I wouldn't know his pronouns if it didn't say.
Soon if this stuff goes through. Granny, how you want to get it into the record is up to you.
Okay, I brought up the first slide. Here's the second one. Yeah, what they want to do is, in this bill, they want to define sex, male and female, and related terms.
They want to define sex. Oh no! No, Amber was in Alec Gunter's chat the other day. She's now in this panel, which I'm pretending I'm gate crashing, but I'm not actually. And are they going to read this out? I do not trust any, like, summary of this, because these people are fucking idiots. Like, this is fine. It's what they potentially do with it that might be bad. Nazis wanted most people wiped off the face of the earth. True. Sadly, there are no Nazis in this fucking equation, so hey. John McCririck. Okay, I'm going to look him up, because I'm not great with celebrities. Yeah, I kind of see that, I guess. Bit of a different dress sense, and this person's, like, skinnier. Anyway. You ever looked into the non-psychological stuff related to gender abnormalities? The test case with the working class, sadly. Activists joined in the press, calling them bigots wanting... Ouch. I don't know anything about that. I know, like, if we're talking about, like, DSDs, like, physical differences and stuff, I know some stuff.
Boy means minor human male. Father means male parent. Female, when used to a natural person, means an individual who naturally has or will have or would have, but for a congenital anomaly, intentional or unintentional disruption, the reproductive system that at some point produces, transports, or utilizes eggs for fertilization. But, you know, one thing I look at is, if you are a transgender woman, are you not a person who would have eggs for fertilization but for the anomaly of your body not matching your gender?
That's one way to look at it, but you may be even more right than you think. It's a really long story. You
not match for fertilization but for the anomaly of your body not matching your gender, but who would have eggs for fertilization but for the anomaly of your body not matching your gender?
That's one way to look at it, but you may be even more right than you think. It's a really long story and a conversation for another day, but there's a really, really high chance, based on multiple avenues of science, neuroanatomy, genetics, and a whole bunch of stuff in between, there's a really good chance that trans people are a flavor of intersex, which...
What? I don't even know what intersex means to this person.
Would mean that it is a congenital anomaly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Congenital... What does congenital mean? A condition or trait that is present at birth. This person really wants people to think that they have always been a woman. And that's probably partly why they deleted all their old shit, so that people can't see them literally just being a shorter haired version of this with a different hat on. Like, it's so transparent. You are so wrapped up in, like, this trans thing, and being a real woman is never gonna happen. You're completely male, just like me, and that's okay. But, like, why are you saying that? Like, how can a person be trans at birth? It's just preposterous. And it's interesting how, oh, it's a conversation for another day. So they're just going to assume, oh, well, this person's looked into it. They must know. It doesn't matter if they've looked into it, because they read something like this and they go a fucking million miles away from whatever the point was. So I don't know. They're saying their body is male, but they're intersex because their brain is female. Yeah, people literally believe this. It's so frustrating. One of the things I should definitely have done, I brought this up to Alec Gunter, and he's like, "Oh, it's hypothetical language. It's a metaphor." It's not a metaphor. These people literally believe this because something in their brain has told them that they have to have been female the entire time, despite being born with a cock and balls, despite often literally having children that they fathered. How many women can father a child? Here's a hint: none.
I think it's really important to point out that this isn't new. That the first introduction of this program was in October of 2018, in the second year of the Trump administration. It was a proposal to write into the Federal Register those definitions. It was introduced. It was put on the shelf and reintroduced in 2020 before the election.
We got a first they came for. Anyone who uses this is so fucking cringe. Like, just don't. The first they came for thing is completely old. It's completely played out. Just stop. Cock and balls. I don't know if I'm angry. I can't do it. I just have to I have to be in the flow. But I'm sure I'll mention cock and balls again. Don't worry. Listen, I've been identifying as a billionaire the entire time I've been trans. That's actually why I'm suspicious about gender identity, and no other reason whatsoever.
This is not new. And I also think it's really important to point out that it's gathered steam.
Seems like an attempt to use an argument based on genetics to cope about them not really being male, but some flavor of it. Yeah, they just don't want to be a male. And I don't know why a person like this wouldn't talk to someone about whatever the fuck is going on that's making them hate their own gender so much. Because I get it, don't get me wrong. I've probably been the same. I can point to 2 or 3 things that may have caused gender dysphoria in my case. And yeah, maybe there is a misandry factor or something. It's not very difficult to believe this in this person. Come on.
And it's gathered steam. You can all, the old saying, follow the money. It's gathered steam because it became a central point to the tune of nearly $210 million in ad buys.
Bruv, as if none of this trans shit has money behind it. I don't know much about that. I need to look more into it. What was that person's name? Trans man from ages ago. Fuck, I can't remember. I'll try and bring it up. I'll try and bring it up later, because there was someone else that someone in my chat was mentioning. I mean, I don't know so much about Soros, but maybe there's money coming in from there as well. This is preposterous. This is literally pretending all the bad things that happen on both sides of the fucking political equation in the US only happen on one side. It's fucking hackery.
In the last election campaign. Now, the Republicans spent a good deal of time banging on trans people, and the Democrats didn't say a word.
They're equating gender with sex. Oh no, what's gender? Every single one of you has a different definition of what gender is. By the way, Pritzker, thank you. There was someone else I'm thinking of as well. I watched a King Critical video. I think it was about trans not being a human rights movement or something. I don't know, civil rights movement. And he mentioned someone else, I have a 50-50 chance of remembering this person's name when I'm thinking of this kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll come back to that.
Harris said twice, referred to trans people twice. in public. And I think one of the things that cis people need to do is recognize that.
Okay, we're telling cis people what to do.
Recognize that this is a tactic to cause people discomfort, to cause people unease, because when you talk about...
Is it a tactic to do those things? Or is it more of a reaction to something that more and more people are getting sick of? Because the thing is, it's not about trans people existing. Like, if someone wants to sit in their room with all this like cult shit on around them, that's their right. That's absolutely fine. I don't care if this old man wants to pretend he's a woman. He's always been a woman and there's some kind of fucking congenital factor to it, which there just isn't. But it's the ideology. It's the way that they're constantly telling people what to do and what to think. Kamala also hasn't mentioned blind hijabi midgets either. True, like she's such an Islamophobe, right? A lot of the legal orgs that push for gay marriage, blah, 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 reached their goals, had money flowing and need a new cause. Yes, very true. Very true. And that's why smaller and smaller and smaller issues are being treated as if they have the same magnitude as like slavery or something. And it sucks.
Notions of sex and gender, reproductive rights. People get very, very queasy in lots of circumstances. And it's a perfect tactic if your goal is to cause discomfort and cause people...
This is stupid. Like, cause discomfort? I don't think so. Like, they jumped on what has become a huge media issue because as much as trans people are a very small part of the population, you're going to start talking about transitioning kids and having men with full fucking beards shaving them in the locker room and invading sports and fucking telling you what games you can play, what words you can say, how you should behave all the time. Like, people are sick of it. I'm sorry.
To say and
yes, like the stream. Check my links. We are talking to Chad Logic in like an hour and 40 minutes or something.
You're going to fix it so that we don't have this discomfort. And
also, if you want to support the stream, go on Streamlabs. You can super chat, stuff like that. I'm trying to get monetization on YouTube. I would love to be able to get like memberships and stuff like that, but it's not coming yet. Some would say unease is healthy. Yeah, maybe.
Anymore. It's a perfect game to play. Cis people need to react to that, basically saying, hey, this is stupid.
Yeah, why don't cis people do what this old man who thinks he's a woman says? Like, I mean, I'm dying already. Holy shit.
Just stop it. These people are people. They have every right to exist as people.
No one is saying otherwise.
And y'all just gotta quit it. What, you know.
Okay, so no one's saying that. So what's the problem? Why not leave cis people alone? If you really want to live your life, then go to your job, have your friends and your family, and just get on with it. Like, is that difficult? None of you are living your lives. None of you are just existing. That's for damn sure. You wouldn't be here if you were. You want to tell people what to think.
No, the closest they came was mind your business.
Mind your business doesn't work when your kid could go to school someday, get taught about these weird gender identities and come home saying, Mom, I think I'm a genderqueer fucking, I don't know. You know what I mean? That isn't minding your business. That's shoving our business into your business being your kid. And trust me, I'm not a parent myself. I know enough parents that they don't like people fucking with their kids.
Which is like, don't ask, don't
mind
tell.
Your business was about the best.
And by the way, if you're a trans person like me, these people want you to shut the fuck up. People like me shouldn't get to speak in these people's worlds. So why should I listen to a single thing these people say? I mean, other than to critique it, you know.
The closest the Democrats came to a response in the last election cycle.
Want to know why that is? It's because our shit is whack. It's because no one wants what we're offering. If we were just getting on with it the way that transsexuals have been for a long fucking time, probably wouldn't be an issue. But these fucking activists can't stop. They can't help themselves. They keep going for the honey in the beehive, getting stung to fuck. But they can't help it. They keep going back for more, for more, for more. This person won't be happy until they're all living their lives in the restroom.
And needs to be a little bit more forthright, in my opinion.
Okay, and something I need to point out.
I think it's toxic, really, to be telling people what they should be doing. You can say, oh, I'd kind of wish they did more of this, even if it's a bit guilt trippy, maybe. And hey, I'm sitting here saying trans people with fucking webcams and microphones need to start challenging allies that are toxic pricks. But yeah, like, people don't like being told what to do. It's so simple. And that's what this person's doing. They straight away, they fell at the first hurdle. So you're already out, Stephanie. I don't care what you say anymore.
With the current political situation, a lot of people feel it's hopeless because the Republicans have the presidency and they have both houses of Congress. But their margins in Congress are so razor thin.
Yes.
That any bill that we could pressure 3 Republicans to vote against.
They want to be oppressed activists. I mean, they want to be oppressed full stop. Like, I've known people that want to be able to take on the label of oppression. So they call themselves non-binary. And by virtue of that, they're trans now, despite changing nothing.
We'll stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who has Republican representatives, you have to contact them and you have to tell them to vote down all the bad legislation you hear about.
There is one slight caveat to that. That's assuming the Democrats all vote against such measures, and that's by no means guaranteed. There's a very strong movement within the Democratic Party saying, oh, all this DEI, that's what lost us the election. We need to be even more regressive.
Well, it's a factor. How can you not say that? How can you not see it?
To keep up with the Republicans. So we can't take it.
The shit she says is like, how are you the age you are? I'm going to guess like mid-50s. How do you get to this age with this kind of mentality? I just don't get it.
For granted. Mm-hmm. We cannot take it for granted.
Opposite. That's the exact opposite, in my opinion, of what...
Oh, here we go. I don't understand why conservatives are afraid of trans people. They're not. I mean, they're a bit afraid of their kids getting like fucking shit poured into their heads, so they start thinking they're like a non-binary two-spirit penguin. You're calling them Nazis, you aren't getting them on side. That is true. Not DEI, it's the trans shit. I mean, people complain about DEI a lot. But, I don't know, some of the complaints are valid in my opinion.
Really going on here.
Trans issues and on the war in Gaza, they both those issues.
Oh no, Devil, you don't understand. Merit can't be the metric because look at how Elon Musk ruined Twitter. That's a joke. I hope you could.
We're not progressive enough, and that's what that. Yeah. And they think they were too progressive, and they weren't progressive enough to win the votes that they needed.
Well,
because more progressivism that would have worked. How do you know? By what measure? This is the other thing. Listen, I generally can't stand watching these like circle jerky like podcasts and panels and stuff where everyone just commiserates and everyone just agrees and it's the most dour shit ever. But part of that is because they can just spout things off without having to actually justify any of it, and no one's going to push back on it. So it's just a hypnosis session in a way.
Thinking they could reach to the right and get a couple more votes there, and they still completely ignore all the people that are further to the left.
Well, that's who they kept parading out there too. Was all
bruv, the left, the far left, has demonstrated over and over in the last 10 years or so how useless they are. I'm sorry, no one cares about the far left anymore. No one gives a fuck. It's over. Listen, you had Bernie Sanders, we had Jeremy Corbyn. Neither of them got into fucking office. I mean, I guess they did in their areas or whatever, but neither of them got the premiership. Neither of them are president or prime minister. I'm sorry about it. It didn't work. There isn't really any like call for what they're saying, you know?
These Republicans like, oh look, we have the Cheney and McCain in our corner on this. They were definitely reaching right for votes and not reaching left.
Yeah, so they were showing off. See, we've got all the Republicans that the Republicans stopped voting for 8 years ago.
What is central to this is not as much what we did to fuck it up, And I use that as the big we.
Sanders look like Hitler to these people. Yeah, true, actually, fucking hell. He's probably nowhere near woke enough for them.
Any of us individually, of course. Is what are we going to do about it? And one of the biggest problems that the trans people face is that because we...
High confirmation bias. I'm just hanging out on this godless granny panel with a bunch of old men who think they're women.
We are such small numbers is that we have virtually no power even if we organized. But that being said, we are so unorganized, it's not.
I love this. Like, we have no power even if we're organized. Well, yeah. And that doesn't mean that we should do whatever the fuck is in our power. Because often that kind of shit is dumb. I know people who they think that they should act like the biggest asshole on the planet because they don't really have the reach to do anything else. It's like, why not do nothing? Why not watchfully wait? I don't know. Hang on, I think there's another bit that's gonna get me.
If we are, those problems that the trans people face is that because we are such small numbers is that we have virtually no power even if we organized. But that being said, we are so unorganized, it's not.
Yes, we are unorganized. Do you know what doesn't help? When one of your panel members shows up in the fucking chat of some bigoted freak that's decided he's a trans fucking rights advocate to suck his dick after the stream, metaphorically, not actually. How is that helping? You're literally contributing by pushing against a trans person, by not being willing to see their side of things. And like writing me off as like a fucking bad faith or whatever that means. Like, what am I bad faith about exactly?
Not funny. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of people say, "Oh, I'm a trans advocate person. You know, I'm a trans person, and so I'm a trans advocate." And we're.
Oh, none of them ever do, Lorixal. And that's why they get to spout the most crazy shit, and they'll all just agree with each other and jump on it and get crazier and crazier and crazier because it's an echo chamber. And none of them understand, like, the immense harm that, like, having so many trans echo chambers has done.
We're going to have all these people in the freedom, and we're going to post all the information and news here, and nobody actually ever follows through. So we don't have any central place or line of thought or goal or plank or idea of what we're doing. We got to talk about it and make it actually happen, not just say it's going to happen. We have to actually do it. And we beg our allies to realize this is what we were talking about all this time. These people.
What exactly?
People want to eradicate us. And this is.
How so?
Step 1 through 10.
Oh, it's the transgenocide. We got it. Transgenocide, folks. Folks. They're not saying transgenocide anymore because it was the most embarrassing fucking shit we've done, even by our standards. But it's the transgenocide, folks. Folks. Yeah, you can tell instantly because of mostly because of Ember here. Like, come on.
And you know, the other, following along that point, it's also really important to understand. According to several postmortems looking at the last election, 70% of trans people voted for the Democratic candidate. 70%.
Yeah, because trans people also support Trump.
This would get 30% of our community.
So why wouldn't you try and understand those people? Like, someone like Ember, if you can't even try and understand me, when I'm like a liberal, I'm not even that far right of these people. How the fuck are you going to reach trans people that voted Trump? Like, how are you going to reach out to them and try and understand them instead of just demonizing them the whole time? But I mean, hey, let's see what they say. My guess is they're all bad people. They're lost to us. They are traitors, blah, 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 whatever.
Voting for their own elimination.
Voting for their own elimination. You're a transphobe. You think trans people should agree with you. You cannot fucking fathom why people would think differently from you. And how old are you, Stephanie? How old are you? How do you get to that age with this mentality? This should have been out of your brain sometime in your teens.
Which is kind of weird. But you would think that when you have a demographic...
Listen very, very carefully to what I'm about to say. If I get like this, at this age, whatever age this person Stephanie is, fucking please kill me immediately. Thank you.
That strong in your corner, that some lip service would be paid to the needs of that demographic, but it's not being paid. As a matter of fact, we're being blamed for losing the election for the Democrats when nobody said anything in our defense.
We're not even being blamed. Like, trans issues are like a contributing factor, but are we getting blamed? Like, who by? And again, it's the worst thing. These fucking circle jerks, they can just throw shit out there. So weird not to try and understand minorities when you are one. Here's how it works. What these people think is that there's this big majority, like cis people, that's like shitting on top of them, the minority, the trans people. But within this so-called minority, there's another minority of trans people that don't agree with this shit. They just do the same thing to that minority that they perceive they are being done by the bigger minority. That's how I think it works.
Well, there's no progressives anymore. There's maintain the status quo, maybe, if it's convenient.
I feel like older women can get away with lots more range in their voices. Yeah, all these people speak in the clockiest way possible. True. That's because all you have to do is identify now. That is a woman's voice, is what they're saying. Because this person, I've always been a female, I've always been women. Me being trans is congenital. Fuck off, you're coping.
And take everyone's rights away. There is no one pushing for the there's no progressives anymore. There's
progressives, just no one gives a fuck about them because they all prove themselves to be idiots.
Maintain the status quo, maybe.
Which is what you're doing.
If it's convenient, and take everyone's rights away.
Maintain the status quo. What's the status quo in like trans circles and has been for years? What is this person doing? Maintaining a status quo. She wants people like Alec Gunter to maintain the status quo on her behalf. Like, it's pathetic. It's turtles all the way down. Yes, true.
Away. There is no one pushing for the expansion of rights, for greater equality, for greater justice. And we're sort of in an inevitable problem. This is just a slightly more exaggerated version of where we'd end up eventually anyway,
Oh, hi, Aurora. I hope you're good.
without any kind of change in the underlying system.
And the problem we have with
Yeah, no one listens to progressives anymore. They had a good run, but it's over. It's been over for years. You know why I stopped being a progressive myself? Because I started listening more closely to progressives and what they're saying. He wants Demon Mama to be the trans advocate demographic. Yeah.
The Democrats is that they figure that, well, queer people voting for Republicans is literal suicide, so no queer people will vote for them anyway.
How is it literal suicide, you utter loser? I'm sorry, I'm actually getting quite annoyed by this now.
We don't have to talk to them.
Yeah.
We don't have to, we want less conversations. We're not organized, but also we need less conversations. We need to shut out anyone that doesn't agree with us. Who's the real bigots again? Remind me, I'm sorry. Ideology being promoted is regressive, not progressive. Yeah, it's a full fucking sham. It's a complete scam. It's just called progressivism because, I don't know, it probably was progressive at one point. Like, people sticking up for trans people probably were mostly just, you should be mean to these people. But unfortunately, it's evolved so far that it became unconscionable. I don't want to transition kids. Like, are you serious? Stop being progressive on trans stuff when I talk to a real trans woman at uni and learned all the prog bullshit helps nobody. Yeah, and that's the other thing. A lot of the normal trans people, they're not on the internet. I'm not actually a normal trans person at all. I'm a fucking freak. But like, the normal ones that are just like liberals or like slight right-leaners, like, they're not on the internet to push back against this shit. That's another thing, because they're just people with jobs who just, literally the people just trying to live their lives. And that was me for a long time as well. I don't know. It's utterly bizarre.
Is that they figure that, well, queer people voting for Republicans is literal suicide, so no queer people will vote for them anyway, so we don't have to talk to them.
Yeah.
That, and specifically as regards trans people, we are such a tiny percentage of the population that it's like we can be conveniently ignored.
Cope. Try saying something that makes sense. Try not being a sheep. Try not being in a thought cult. Some of that shit might help. Fucking cis people listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and you know, I guess
making it less convenient.
If there's something for cis people to do, it's like, don't ignore us any longer. You know, help us.
Listen, no argument from me. You definitely need help. Fucking hell.
One of the things that I plan to do over the next 4 years that I think will be a little bit of help for mental health is I have been a news junkie, and I don't plan to be. I'm going to be watching a lot less of the news.
Yes, this is actually based. Hold on. This is actually true. Holy shit. Here we go.
Because I know it's just going to be so bad.
Tune the news out. Stop soying out over every tiny change in like legislation that might possibly be bad one day for one trans person in fucking Illinois while you sit there on Facebook on your phone in England. That kind of stuff. Stop, please. This person, Godless Granny, is right here. We've been hearing about trans again and again and again, but okay. Yeah, people wish they could ignore us.
Bad for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I've already had to do that and just not watch nearly as much news as I used to.
Yes, this helps. Good. Here's a good part of this panel. There we go. I didn't expect it, but it's here.
I found that with the previous incarnation,
like with the news stuff, what I find is people think that they owe it to other people to stay informed, whatever that means, which you're not really being informed. You're sucking in whoever's propaganda. And you don't owe anyone. What you owe is to yourself and your own mental health to tune out when this stuff gets stressful. Like, if you need to watch less news, then do that. That's a good point. I'm not going to say this person's talking shit when what they said is correct.
Of proto-fascism, which
as much news as I used to.
I found that with the previous incarnation of proto-fascism, which
okay, let's hear about the previous incarnation of proto-fascism. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Ember's pronouns, like, I'm glad that he put them on here because I wouldn't know what his pronouns are, but they're right here. So thank you, Ember.
Which granted was the lesser form. Comedy news helped a lot. Shows like NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, sometimes The Daily Show, things like that. It's not a full spectrum of news, and it's certainly not fair and balanced.
This person wants more trans people to be partisan hack fucks, basically. More people using words they don't understand. Yep.
But it's a way to get information and stay on top of some of the things that are happening.
Watching comedy news is not a way to get information. Are you actually joking? What the fuck?
Happening in a more lighthearted way that won't cause so much fucking depression.
Yeah. John Oliver helps.
Yes.
John Oliver helps. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's hear from some fucking soy fuck that has sold himself out for us. Nice. That's what you want. You want men to all be John Oliver.
Some more news.
You say you'd like more news?
Yeah.
I think Godless Granny is the only actual female on the screen right now, including myself. I'll be fair. Listen, I call these people males. I would call myself a male because I am one.
No, there's a show, a news comedy show called Some More News, with hosted by Cody Johnson. It's hilarious, and yes,
Some More News. Have I heard of that? I think that guy's soy as fuck. Oh yeah, The Onion. Yeah. That's true. That's a very good news source. I recommend it actually. What the fuck was I looking for? Oh, I think it is. Yeah, this guy's soy as fuck, yeah. Basically, only consume extremely partisan, extremely ridiculous news that we sign off on. So hey, Godless Granny had a good point here. It's now been completely ruined. So thanks, Amber. I mean, listen, if someone's going to make a good point and she's going to ruin it, the one that's going to be doing it is the fucking Alec Gunter fan. Let's be real. Do you know what else she said? She said that Nominal Naomi is a goddess. I've seen some more news before. It's soy as fuck. He's funny. Yeah, he probably is, I don't know. To be honest, I don't watch the news very often because actually, I'll tell you why. What I realized, I consumed a lot of news for a while because I was in an office job and we were all going to be made redundant because all our operations were being moved elsewhere. So there was a lot of time where we were sat around doing fuck all. So I spent a fair amount of time reading the news. When I finished that job and I wasn't reading the news so much, I'd check it occasionally. And it's like all the stuff I'm reading is still just happening in extremely slow motion. And it's like, why am I keeping up with this? Like, you can check it once a month and probably be decently informed. versus Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll have to have a look. I don't know much about Neil deGrasse Tyson. He gets a fair amount of criticism these days.
It's definitely like left leaning, left book, but it's having a laugh.
It's a very satirical program.
Yeah, they want to make more trans people into into partisans. They're trying to expand the cult here. Listen when they say the things that they say, please.
Yeah, I like Stephen Colbert.
Puppet.
I think that comedy news and blah blah blah. It's like you can't make this shit up, kind of stuff.
This is so terrible. Don't get your news from comedy sources. I mean, it says a lot for why these people use a lot of reductio ad absurdum. It says a lot as to why these people essentialize constantly. Oh, so you're basically just saying this. Because it sounds like a comedy thing. Oh, you care about whose junk is in what toilet? Or are you the gender police? Are you gonna look in people's pants? That's what it sounds like. And it's quite illuminating in a way.
And it's absolutely true. But the thing about that is you can't make this shit up. But this shit's real. And even if while you're laughing at it, get off your ass and do something about it. Because
do what? It's over. It's happening now. You can keep on desperately trying to pull as many people into your shitty little cult as you can, but it's not working. More and more trans accounts are coming up that are pushing back against this kind of thing. One day, I feel like these kind of perspectives that we're now starting to hear a lot more of are going to eclipse all this shit. And these people are going to start being the minority. And like I said, this is why I implore people to start pushing back, especially with allies, because cis allies that are doing nothing but damage to the trans cause, they need to know from as many people as possible that that's what they're doing. Honestly, we need to start fucking bullying these people out of, not these people, these fucking allies, these toxic ass allies. We need to start bullying them out of being fucking trans allies. Make it known that if people are going to start talking utter cult shite about trans shit, that trans people are going to fucking bully them for it. That's what we need. I'm sorry. That's what it's come to. We're done being nice. There we go. I've said the same fucking thing all the fucking radicals are saying. There we go.
It's not funny when Sarah McBride can't go take a piss in the Capitol. It's not funny.
She can go take a piss in the Capitol. A, she can use any men's toilet she wants. B, doesn't she have her own private bathroom? So how can't she piss in the Capitol, Stephanie? How do you not understand this? You're like 80 years old. You look like you should know everything. You're insane. Yeah, I mean, these people probably understand. I mean, this person was watching my Alec Gunt debate, so she at least knows that there are some people that are coming out against them, and it's going to keep happening. And I don't care if I'm just annoying the piss out of so many people on the internet to make my point. I don't care. I'm like, something snapped in my brain this year, and it's just like, it's fucking on now. It's on.
When you can't have the correct information on your birth certificate. It's not funny. It's not a fucking joke.
Correct information? You're a male.
Oh. And
it isn't funny because you're trying to pull people into a cult. You're kind of disgusting. No offense.
Part of, I don't know if folks have seen the Netflix film Disclosure that was produced by Laverne Cox. It came out, 4 or 5 years ago. It's the history of trans people as portrayed in media, from film and news and all of this stuff.
Let me guess, we're characters that kill people, we're characters that are evil. Oh no, I hate fucking talking about fiction. I hate all these trans interpretations or queer interpretations of fiction. It's actually kill me. If I ever have to watch that shit, literally. The dementia panel, love it. Thank you.
And we've always been the joke.
I don't think so. I have worked in many jobs amongst many very normal people. The only time people were really that mean to me was either because they're a bit of a transphobe and I was on the bar. It happened occasionally. Some people are just pricks. It just is what it is. Or people kicking off because they're Karening up. You know what I mean? Cox. Is one of them called Cox? I'm trying to think what you could put in front of Cox. Lot of Cox. I don't know. I'll keep thinking.
You see, And it's always been either the hot, funny, ha-ha joke or the scary joke.
Like, for years and years, people just treated me like a normal person. And when people started treating me less like a normal person, it was because my mental health was starting to get out of control, and I very much was not acting like a normal person very much. It had nothing to do with me being trans. I don't know, listen, has this person not worked jobs in their life? I mean, they probably, listen, most of these people have, I doubt any of them have been trans for more than like 2 years, but I don't know. But she should know, it's changed so much in the last few years. And I'm way more self-conscious than I used to be.
In film.
Oh, Laverne Cox, oh, thank you.
It's like Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that. And this is why this is so effective. I mean, with the history of our prison.
Nah. Not once can I remember anyone mentioning the fucking Silence of the Lambs around me. Probably because I didn't look like any of... Well, I mean, this person looks okay. And this person's a woman. I don't know. This is the thing. It'd be interesting to talk to people like this and like understand their experiences, where they're coming from, because they've probably gone through some shitty things. The large, rare moths flying in the background. I didn't see them. I don't like insects very much, to be honest.
Presentation to the broad and general public. The very word travesty comes from trans people, specifically trans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, a travesty is a drag show.
Uh-huh.
That's the derivation of the word. So this is called.
This says burlesque. Ab-fab going rogue, thank you. I suck dicks for cocks. I eat dicks like you for breakfast. Does this say about history of like language? Hi, Oddgirl Outcast, I hope you're good. Okay, you know, I can't verify this, like, even if it's true. Does anyone even know that anymore? Yeah, the world was probably a bit less nice to trans people in some ways than it is now. Who gives a fuck?
Culturally, this is culturally embedded in people's minds, which is why it's so fucking effective.
This is cope. Like, I'm sorry, I just have not had this experience. People treated me like a normal person because people didn't give a fuck. 99.9% that I was trans. And I was out there, like, I was just trying to live my life, and I was doing okay. I didn't experience, like, fucking oppression. Like, I'm a white transsexual who lives in the United Kingdom. In what way am I oppressed? But these people talk like they're the most oppressed people on the planet. White people from fucking the richest country in the world. White men, no less. The kind of people we're normally shitting all over constantly because of their so-called privilege is not good enough somehow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have a question from Mage Grey Wolf. A lot of people don't realize that this is happening or could happen to trans people. Any
What's this?
idea how to get through to those people?
Take away their subscription to Daily Wire.
Everyone that disagrees with me listens to conservative media.
Well, they have to be convinced we exist first. That's the biggest problem, is that they've been a huge demographic of people have.
There we go. Broad appeal to transphobes. Just wake me up when this is over.
Been convinced that we don't exist, or that what we exist as is something that they should not have any quarter for. So they don't. Even lukewarm, which is like our whole, as we mentioned, our Democratic Party, which is kind of center right. They don't want to acknowledge us. We're an annoyance to them.
How would you even possibly begin to like justify that statement?
We are something that gives their opposition cannon fodder to use against us. So the only attention we get from the media is negative attention, right?
Is that even true? Has the media ever done like a... Wait, do I need to ask this fucking question? How many like glowing like articles came out about Caitlyn Jenner when she first came out? The media only fucking... What did she say again? I need that again. Fuck.
Something that gives their opposition cannon fodder to use against us. So the only the only attention we get from the media is negative attention.
That is not true. That isn't true at all. Like, do I need to find news articles about trans people that don't shit on trans people? This looks like a pretty positive thing. I don't know. It's obvious. Like, do I need to fucking... Bill Mulvaney talked about girlhood with Biden in the White House and the media celebrated. Yeah. Like, what are they talking about? They just say these things and no one's there to rein them in. Yeah, on the cover of Time magazine. Yeah. Woman of the Year. She killed someone with a car. Yeah. And how much coverage did that get next to how much coverage her amazing brave transition got, right?
Right?
This person is just lying. This is just lying to try and get people to feel sorry for you. This isn't beta behavior. This is like Amiga male behavior. I'm sorry.
It was you have to be very niche to find stuff between that. And there's some good resources out there. There's though I have had my issues in the past with them. Pink News is a good issue.
Pink News is terrible media outlet. Listen, I have a video about someone called Felix Fern, and I read a Pink News article about the same debate that this Felix Fern person had that I had literally just watched. It was the most gaslighty fucking leave out anything inconvenient narrative to make it sound like this fucking Felix Fern idiot had any points at all. It like, oh my God, I can't even describe it. Like, I just fucking watch it at some point.
There's some writers that we follow over on the transpositions to keep us up to date on what's.
I'm just going to assume the transpositions also sucks. I think Ember is part of the trans positions. Pink News is actually the worst rag ever. It's not Aaron in the morning, but it's close.
Going on, so we can keep those reports coming live to you. So yeah, the transpositions, of course, is a great resource for that as well. But
I mean, let's have a quick look. I'm pretty sure the transpositions is something Ember is involved with. Friend of noted former white supremacist and still massive bigot, Alec Gunter. Just gonna keep saying that. Listen, if you people can do guilt by association fucking constantly, then so can I. I'm sorry. That's how it works. If fucking Frida Wallace can go on national TV again and again and again and again to do nothing but guilt by association to anyone that doesn't agree with her, then I can do it too. That's fine. The transpositions. Oh, I think I had like an argument with Stephanie in their comments, and it was pretty fucking whack. Yeah, here we go. And they had Arden on, who honestly, listen, Arden I'm starting to realize is like one of the less wacky ones. So hey, listen, didn't think I'd be saying that. They've had Luxander on, terrible fucking, I don't know, whatever she does. She's not good at it.
What else we got? What else do we use? Outsports is a good.
We don't need to make trans transsexual again because trans is transsexual and always has been. People are just lying when they say otherwise. That's how it is.
Way to keep up on what's going on with the sports regulations.
Listen, what is that meme? What is that meme where someone's like, wait, it was this the entire time? And someone's behind them with a gun or something, being like, always has been. I need a version of that. Yeah. I'm speaking to Chud at 5 o'clock. So in about an hour. Also, I hope you're good, base centrist. Yeah, I need a version of that meme where it's some fucking gender freak like, wait, trans means transsexual? And someone else is like, always has been, you know. I also still need more Alec. No, what am I talking about? I need more Forrest Gump memes. Any Forrest Gump memes are very, very appreciated. There are a lot of negative trans news because unfortunately they're true. Yeah, there's a lot of positive as well, so I don't know. These people want to act like we just get shat on in the media. Do you know what's really weird? Like, that's kind of one of my memories of like when I was younger, at least, like the late 90s and shit. Whenever I'd see anything about like trans people in the media, it'd be like men who think they're women. And to me, it's like, well, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's no point here, but actually it's gotten so much better and these people just don't know how good they have it. Which is bizarre. All of these people are like older than me, as far as I can tell. I'm 34 years old. I can't see any of these people that look remotely the same age as me.
Assigned Media, Evan Rickett, is a really great source. We covered Chris Geidner's law dork, he's this guy reporting on the recent Supreme Court case, and it's like there were so many trans people representing and in fact arguing that case before the United States Supreme Court, and they opened up some justices' eyes.
They have 40, but all vegan. Fair enough. Hey, listen, I'm not starting any shit with vegans today. Transvestism doesn't exist because clothes don't have genders. Yeah, I mean, clothes do have, like, gendered stigma attached to them, I guess. And you could argue there's a good reason for it, because some clothes, Assigned Media fucking sucks. Do you know what Assigned Media said about the WPATH leaks? Oh, it's just forum posts. Yeah, it's just forum posts reading, what's her name? Marcy Bowers talk about how many children she's given vaginoplasties to. It's just forum posts when one person will treat anyone up to having hallucinations. Like, I've seen it for myself. I've seen, like, TikToks of people that pretend to have DID, and then you see them getting wheeled out with, like, a mastectomy one day, and they're sat there complaining that their family doesn't affirm their pronouns when they're in their mid-20s. Why are they getting operated on? It's bizarre. Oh, the Jerry Springer stuff. See, that kind of thing, I remember, like, it was worse, and it's gotten better, and these people don't understand how good they have it. Oh, hi, Steffi. Sadly, your thing isn't loading, but I hope you're good. Oh, you got some meat. Yeah. I'm not a vegan. I actually respect vegans, but don't try and tell me to be a vegan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chase Strangio did some gold.
Chase Strangio is a freak. I'm pretty sure he thinks 2-year-olds should transition. Hang on, actually. Listen, we've still got a while. Like, I don't care if I don't finish this, because it's cooked as fuck. Forrest Gump version, he kills Bubba himself and shoots his shrimp and calls Jenny a turf. But he keeps on running. He keeps on running. Fuck, what was I doing? It's Chase Strangio. First off, what name is that? Chase Strangio. This Democracy Now! Channel and this person, these people are disgusting. They are freaks. 2-year-olds. There was a Sky video. Listen, I will trust people like Sky for now. I can always check it later, but someone like her, like, she generally actually is truthful. Hi, ASBX3R13R. Hope you're doing good. Don't be a stranger. Yeah, apparently he thinks 2-year-olds should transition or have the ability to understand transition, which is utterly ridiculous. 2-year-olds, my nephew is almost 2. I guarantee you, he can barely speak English. He doesn't know what transition is. He's not at the point where he's about to understand everything about his own gender to where he can change it if he wants. And, like, let's not get in to the idea that you make a decision at the age of 2 that leads to you having, say, your tits getting chopped off, and then you regret it in your adult life. You made that decision as a 2-year-old. How are you going to feel?
Good stuff.
Oh, you're in the Discord. Oh, cool. Good to see you. It gets so confusing when people's names are different. So, like, there's still people that I've been interacting with, both in chat and on Discord, for, like, weeks. And I don't realize it's the same person.
Nailed it. And there were trans reporters, gay reporters, lesbian reporters, all there. Now, will it do anything? I mean, I'm not real sanguine about the way that this court's going to go. I mean, there was a 5-4 majority for Bostock, which is, you know, the foundational case for why gender identity and sex are linked and should be protected.
I don't think we can even say any of this without actually fucking defining gender identity. My first baby is almost 1. This stuff is obviously freaking me out more than before I had him. Yeah, of course, yeah. When you're a parent, like, your priorities shift. I'm not a parent myself, but the thing is, these kind of people seem to have no empathy for, like, parents. And I think that's insane when you're talking about transitioning children. Like, people like Ember, I don't know if I've heard this escape her mouth, or someone like Stephanie. I don't know that I've heard it from them. But older transsexual males, they seem to have this thing where they are convinced that they should have gone through puberty blockers and all of that other stuff, and they would have been so much happier, which they don't know. Someone like Stephanie might not even still be alive if that's what happened. Because stopping your puberty and never actually going through another puberty, because taking HRT isn't puberty, that isn't necessarily good for you, I'm sorry. And they want to push this. They want to live vicariously through other people's kids. It's like disgusting. And you wonder why people aren't really for this shit. My son turns 2 in a couple of weeks. He has no idea. Oh, he's around the same age as my nephew. My nephew will be 2 in like 2 more months. There's absolutely no way that he can start thinking about transitioning. Like, what? The only way he would if I pushed him on it. Yeah, of course, yeah. And hey, the idea that there aren't parents out there pushing their children into this stuff is insane. Obviously, it's happening. If you can think of it, it's probably happening somewhere.
Protected class. Whether that's going to hold or not, I don't know. It kind of depends on Neil Gorsuch.
All this criticism towards transgender identity wasn't an issue years ago. They weren't trying to trans kids. Yes, very true. If they stopped that half, the anti-trans criticism would disappear. Well, certainly a decent amount of it would. Like, stop telling people what to think and what to say. Stop pushing this shit on kids. Leave women's sports to actual women. I think that would help a lot, you know? We push too much. And the thing is, for those of us that thought it was just a personal thing that you just do and not a fucking ideology and a way of life, this shit is incredibly jarring. Because I don't want to push this on anyone. I don't think people should transition unless it feels extremely necessary to them.
And Amy Coney Barrett. But we are in for some trouble here. And again, I think that the most important thing for cis people to realize is that we need your voices. We need
to say what?
Need you to say, this is garbage.
Transitioning doesn't fix the suicide problem, IMO, because the problem is depression, not dysphoria. Yeah, quite possibly. Thank you, Insane. I wanted someone to do that. I hope you're good.
Not just laugh at it, because it is absurd. Of course it's absurd.
Wait, what's absurd? Apart from the idea that this is a woman, what's actually absurd? Is it the idea that this one's a woman? I could do this all day. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Need your voices. We need you to say, this is garbage. Not just laugh at it.
Why is it garbage?
Because it is absurd. Of course it's
Why is it absurd?
It's absurd.
Why is it absurd that sex is a binary and there are males and females? Why is that absurd? Oh no, we're just going to move on. See, it's infuriating. It's actually infuriating sometimes.
Real quick before, because I see.
When my little sister was 4 to 5, there was a solid year she believed she was a cat, would meow and everything. Yeah, there was like kids in schools and stuff. Someone didn't believe me, and I had to bring up that there was I think it was in Essex. It was like a secondary school, like year 8 or something. Some kids trying to argue with their teacher that one of their what's the word? One of the other pupils, will say, was pretending to be a cat all the time, as if that couldn't disrupt their education, and as if being a cat is something a human can be. But yeah, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. Cannot convince me a kid that young knows anything. Yeah. And we shouldn't be feeding them all this bullshit information. We should be letting them experience the world and like learn things for themselves a bit.
Angie out here asking about the trans men in this discussion.
Yeah, I've been waiting to handle that question. I was waiting till Stephanie was done.
I have been like,
where are all the trans men? Well, we got the men, the trans men less so.
Like Dr. Ben 2 doors down here, we're neighbors now. And he's exhausted.
That person lives near Dr. Ben. Oh my God. Hi, Cheryl. I hope you're good. This person lives near Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben is a dipshit.
Dr. Ben 2 doors down here, we're neighbors now. And he's exhausted.
Yeah.
Exhausted by what? Going on the line every fortnight. What's exhausting about that? I think I stream longer than the fucking line does, and I do it by myself.
He did the
transatlantic show yesterday.
And then so.
But I also invited 2 other trans.
Oh baby.
Men. I invited my son, but my son is too.
Oh, trans child. Here we go. Trans child. Now it all makes sense. How old is he?
Pressed to do this.
Oh, he's too depressed. Oh.
Because my son said, if I come on that panel, I'm going to say the best thing you can do for me is to just shoot me. And that's not the advice
or just carry on living your life. Like, do you have a job? Go to your job. Do you have friends, family? Spend time with them. Enjoy the things around you, because you are going to die one day. You get one life. That's the best thing a fucking trans person can do. Oh, I'm depressed because of the election. Like, just get over it then. Get over it. What else are you going to do? Bitch about it the whole time? Donald Trump has no idea who the fuck you are. What's the point?
You're going to want to hear, so I'm just not on the panel. What'd you say?
Well, I suppose this panel wasn't quite dour enough, so maybe she's got a point. The fact that trans men rarely ever include in anti-trans talking points just proves that the anti-trans or TERFs are focusing on men, feminism, not targeting trans people. Yeah, I mean, I think some TERFs, like, genuinely are just, like, toxic towards trans people, but not all of them. Like, I don't see the point in generalizing an entire movement and just making up their points for them.
It's valid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's valid. No, we got a valid. That's I'm drinking water, so it's not like it's a drinking game, but
I'm going to say the best thing you can do for me is to just shoot me, and that's not the advice you're going to want to hear. So I'm just
that's your son. Why aren't you talking sense into him?
On the panel. What'd you say?
It's valid.
Yeah.
Robin's feelings are valid.
Yeah. And
suicide baiting is pathetic and evil. Yes. Like, imagine hearing your son, like, saying things like that. Like, I feel like if I was saying stuff like that around my own mum, like, it would break her heart, surely. Jeez, I don't know. I'm starting to feel, like, deeply uncomfortable suddenly.
the other person that I invited was Beck, and Beck said that his work schedule is such that he might be able to make it and he might not.
Ooh, who's Beck? I don't know who Beck is.
Not. So that's why he's in the description but isn't here. But if he gets off work in time, he's going to join us.
I relate to that. But to what Stephanie was saying, that this show isn't just about the state of things. It's about how people can help. And and Stephanie was starting to...
Have we said anything like... Have we said anything... Shit, what am I trying to say? Have we actually said anything actionable about how people can help except for just saying what you think? Oh, Stardust streams. I know who Stardust is. I remember her floating around Destiny for a while when I used to watch him loads.
To wax onto that, one of the most important things is speak up, speak out, use your voice in every way you can, from talking to representatives.
That's what I have been doing, but you're not happy with me for that. But Alex Gunt, certified bigot extraordinaire, you want him talking out for us. I don't want a bigot talking out for us. That's why I'm against people like Alec Gunter.
To talking to other people in the regular world, in the workplace, whether it's people making an off-color joke in a bathroom or someone...
Pretending to be cat is normal for kids. I feel like that alone isn't a red flag. I feel like what that person was saying goes beyond just pretending to be a cat. Like, if you now and then, as part of play, start going around on all fours and meowing, that's normal for a kid that age. I think they're kind of insinuating that it went a bit beyond that, you know what I mean? There's no way to help. You make your bed, lie in it. True. Well, they're insisting on not lying in it, and that's the problem, but hey. It's like Charlie when she's drunk. Like, she really just needs to lie in a bed, but she's going to do everything she can not to. Sorry, Charlie, if you can hear me.
Directly discriminating against someone right in front of you. Use your...
I'm just waiting for my door to open at this point. Unless she's... Maybe she's gone for a nap. Maybe I'll get away with it.
Voice and say, this shit isn't okay.
Well, I'm saying your shit isn't okay because you are a pick-me for a bigoted fucking loser who does not help trans people any.
That's a really good point, and I'm so glad that you made that, because I am the type of person that when I hear something like that, I don't think. I think, I'm disgusted by this, but I don't think of what I can do. And so it's really good to hear that. Tell
you what you can do. Treat trans people like normal people. Treat them like people that are allowed to be whatever they want. Isn't it so weird that all this like progressive shit, we're telling trans people that they should be a certain way. They should be like Democrat voters. They should be against Trump. They should think this, that, and the other. If you're a Trump voter and a transsexual, you're voting against your interests. Like, we need to get rid of all that. I'm sick of people expecting certain things from me, which they are not owed from me. You know what I mean? And I feel like someone like this Ember person, she probably doesn't like me when she sees me go against like Alex Gunt or something, because I'm a trans person that's daring to not be exactly like her.
What I can do is I can speak up.
Yeah, if you are Christmas is coming up, okay? If you got a trans cousin, brother, sister, and you're there and you hear people misgender them or hear people use the wrong pronouns for them or dead name them, speak up. That's really something you can do. Let them know that you're there in your space, that you're not going to.
This isn't going to help them, but sure. Like, I'm trying to think. I'll think longer. There's definitely something I want to say here. Dems aren't owed trans voters, especially if they have other concerns like economy or migration. Yeah, exactly. Like, people just don't agree. And trans is not an ideology. Trans is just having gender dysphoria and acting on it. It's not about being a left-winger or any of that shit.
Stand for that, and if anybody stands with you, that you're going to be there. That makes that makes it so.
Here's how you deal with misgendering as a trans person. Misgendering is going to happen to you. You have to be able to learn to take it in stride. You don't have to go and work at Wetherspoon at the very start of your transition, like someone like me did. Punch Granny in the face for misgendering your 2-year-old non-binary daughter. I love it. Yeah, like, you have to have a thick skin. If you're going to be trans, you have to have a thick skin. You have to understand people are not always going to see you the way you see yourself. And they don't owe you your version of yourself, unfortunately, because everyone's perspective is different. There's going to be some people that see this person and think she's 70 years old when actually they're like 56 or something. I don't know. You're just not going to get your own fucking shit back all the time. People don't owe you your own perception of yourself. That's just how it is.
That somebody feels comfortable going to a family dinner. It's very uncomfortable if I'm the only one correcting people when they do that.
Nope. Listen, make sure these are the only people. Fuck all of this shit. It's too late. It's scorched earth now. Make sure they feel as uncomfortable as possible. You should feel like a prick. Actually, fuckface goes by they. You should feel like a prick for being that.
It gets tedious, and then it starts to be like, I'm the problem.
If misgendering is a problem for you, congratulations, you don't have real problems. True. Blair said being trans taught our independence and made her grow thicker skin. Yep, same. It's interesting. If you don't surround yourself in a cult, what is gender? Ask anyone and you'll get a unique answer. So basically nothing. To me, all it really means is like your expression and how you're perceived in terms of like your sex and how you appear and stuff. I don't think it's in any way innate. I don't think a social construct can really be innate, you know?
Problem. It starts to feel like I'm the problem. So stand by the people who are dealing with this new wave of rhetoric against us that they feel so emboldened to bring it out just like publicly and make a spectacle of it without any fears of social repercussions. Let them know the social repercussions are there.
Well, and we need to make that a much...
No. How it's going to work. These people are the only ones speaking up and they instantly know what the repercussions are. Oh, by the way, this tardigrade mama person, be the light you want to see in the world, and it's a Molotov cocktail. You're so radical. Oh my God, you're so cool and radical.
Broader social blanket that you need to challenge any bigotry against any minority group.
Why did I subscribe to I clicked on something I shouldn't have. Let me get that again, because there was something stupid in there as well. This is the thing. People complain that I pause too much. Everything they say is crazy.
Repercussions are there.
Well, and we need to make that a much broader social blanket that you need to challenge any bigotry against.
They have been trying to do this for so long, and it's not worked. All of this shit starting to feel like I'm the problem. Yes, true. Oh my God. But yeah, they have been trying to do this, and it's not working. It's going backwards. All this, like, pregnant people, chest feeding, nobody wants it. It's not catching on. Like, you're trying to change something that is not going to change. Maybe hundreds of years from now, fucking who knows, but at the moment, it's You're just pissing people off, unfortunately, because you're not entitled to the words from others' mouths.
And any minority group.
And it's not bigotry. It's not bigotry. Like, even back when I was, like, funny about pronouns, I didn't want to be called a man because I fully believed I was a woman. It's not bigotry to call someone like me at that time a he. I'm a male. What the fuck is the problem with calling a male person a he? That's what you do. And if you're gonna buck the norm, then fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Be yourself. But don't call it bigotry when someone calls a male a he.
Because that's the only way we can hope to start, building some bridges between minorities.
Building some bridges? Fuck off. This has led to the trans community burning every bridge there is. Like, all this constant lecturing. All this, like, oh, now they want to call it, like, pregnant people, and all the right-wingers get fucking outraged. It's because dipshits think that this is good. That's what these people want, and no one else does. It's really weird us trans people are trying to change the world for others. Yeah. Listen, we came up with a whole different way of defining gender and sex that makes no sense to apply to cis people, aka a cis person is, say, a man that identifies as a man, which is just not how they experience anything. And then applying it to them anyway. Insane. I'd really struggle to call you here, sir. Oh, I appreciate that. But not everyone's like that. Some people see a male, and it's fine. I just don't care anymore. My pronouns are any.
To mutually support each other.
Yeah, all of this is very intersectional. As many people point out, it's black.
Intersectional, here we go.
Yeah, all of this is very
She just throws in all the buzzwords. I don't know if she knows what most of them mean. Like, I guess this makes sense coming from an Alec Gunter supporter, which this person is. She was, like, sucking him off, metaphorically, after his car crash of a conversation with myself.
Building some bridges between minorities to mutually support each other.
Yeah,
this is retarded. Like, how many black conservatives and stuff are out there that find a lot of this shit bizarre? You know what I mean? Like, building bridges to minorities. You don't even understand minorities. How many Latinos are out there voting Trump because they emigrated legally and they don't really think it's cool for, like, other people from their country to come in illegally? You know what I mean? Don't know who Bentley Jones is. I do not. Click on. No, I'm fine.
All of this is very intersectional. As many people point out, it's black trans women who get the brunt of it, who are most likely to be just straight up murdered.
Yeah, usually for prostitution. I would hazard a guess there's a fair amount of surprise genitalia happening. Surprising people with genitalia in sexual scenarios is a great way to get yourself killed. Please do not. Please, I beg you, be open about your trans status. When I was dating, I put myself out there as like a lesbian, but I was very upfront and honest that I'm a trans person. And if someone doesn't want to date me because I'm trans, do you know what I do? I just move on to the next person. That's fine. If you don't want to date me, then I'd only be wasting your time, unless you think we're going to be friends or some shit, by continuing to talk to you anyway. Blossom has entered the chat.
Under the trans panic defense or what have you. Every year.
Yes, and why aren't you out there telling people to stop surprising people with their genitals? Because when you don't do that, that's how some of these people are getting killed. I'm not saying it's their fault that they got killed because of the trans panic defense, because they had a surprise set of genitals, but they should be telling people because that will help. That's not victim blaming to say. People still shouldn't get killed for not having what's down there, what you think should be down there. Absolutely not. Fuck that shit. But you can still give people good advice. Oh my God.
We get lists of names for Trans Day of Remembrance, and the majority are always black trans women.
Why aren't you helping them in any way, shape, or form, except blathering on about intersectionality? Why would you even want to date someone who doesn't like you for who you are? Entitlement.
So there is intersectionality to this, but also
there is intersectionality to this because black trans women die. Wow, amazing. You're not a black trans woman. But sure. And this person, by the way, loves to use like the murder statistics. And there's so much violence against trans people. Not that she's ever fucking experienced any.
Trans people are a stepping stone to other bigotry, to greater oppression for everyone else, for women.
What the fuck does that mean? And if that's the case, why are you so fucking horny for Alec Gunter, a fucking obvious misogynist, obvious homophobe, transphobe? Everything I said about him talking over other trans people, that she's kind of saying, oh, don't be an ally and talk over trans people. You support someone who does that. Watch his fucking Marcus Dibb video. He said nothing wrong. And Alec Gunter is like losing his shit, saying he's not a man, telling him to shut up over and over about his own issues. How is that not transphobic?
And for every minority, once they...
Oh, wait, no. This person's transphobic too, because they think that trans people owe her worldview back to her. So, great.
Knock down one rung. Once they convince the public it's okay to remove the humanity and personhood from this one group, it becomes that much more acceptable to do it to the next.
Conspiracy theory, no evidence of this.
Group.
And Maya had it spot on. The link piece between the anti-trans stuff and the anti reproductive rights stuff are issues of bodily autonomy.
Do you know what it is? If you're a trans positive feminist YouTuber, do you know what that means? It means that you talk about trans issues and abortion. That's literally it. Plenty of people don't seem to think that women have any issues except for abortion.
It absolutely linked. That's why the bills throughout the whole history, starting in 2020 in the States.
Oh, please, male person calling yourself Stephanie, please tell me more about abortion rights.
The abortion bills after.
Do you think it's okay for you to not oops, that moved. Do you think it's okay for you to not tell someone that you're going to have sex with, that you had a vaginoplasty? I think always disclose. It's just easier. It's just easier. If someone's not into trans people and that's how they find out and they decide they're not into you, then you've saved wasting any more of that person's time, potentially saved them wasting any more of your time. It's just easier, it's safer. And these people will never say this. They will never give the most basic advice to try and help people keep themselves safe, because ultimately, the only person you can rely on to keep yourself safe is you. The people have to take like personal steps. Oh, listen, I'm going to comment. I need to know why they're putting someone on this panel who openly supports a racist misogynist called Alec Gunter. I also asked her on her Allies channel on her Allies video to explain why she supports him. I don't actually care about people supporting other people, but because these people will like go hell for leather if they find out you're friends with someone. Like, listen, fucking Alec Gunter mentioned, oh, she subscribes to Chud Logic, like as if that's like a point against me or something. Like, oh no, I subscribe to Chud Logic. I must be a terrible person. Like, it's so utterly cooked. These people are such utter hypocrites. They don't give a fuck how awful people are as long as they're saying the right things. And that's disgusting. And they don't care about these black trans people because they're not talking to them. They even mentioned the self-defense, the trans defense thing. They don't say anything about maybe being honest. Do you know what I mean? So they don't give a fuck about this. Listen, I'm getting too angry. But it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. And someone is absolutely fine being a bigoted piece of shit so long as they're saying the right things. Ember is completely full of shit. I would love to talk to this person because she'll say all kinds of things about how bad faith I am. And like, what is this? What is all this fucking sucking Alec Gunter off in chat? You know what I mean? What is any of that? How can you say anything about anyone?
Rose overturned it. The abortion bills and the anti-trans bills were Bill 1 and Bill 2. That happened in Texas. That happened in Arkansas. Yep. They were twins.
Oh, they come up at the same time, a time in history or a time in space and time where both issues are kind of a big thing at the same time. Wow, what an insane coincidence. But according to whatever this person is, it's a conspiracy. Nice. Amazing.
And I just think that I saw this go through on Blue Sky, and I think this is another point that I think is worth mentioning. Please don't make us guide you through every bad actor and why what they say or do is shitty. It doesn't scale. We're busy in the real world. Trying to.
Are you? You're busy sitting here fucking mouthing with your fucking male friends and this woman who's got a trans child. That's you busy, is it? This has 562 views. How is your time in any way important that you're doing this and complaining you're too busy to explain to people why you have this stupid fucking belief system? Blue Sky, the leftist echo chamber. Yep, they used to get all their news and shit off of Twitter headlines. Now it's Blue Sky.
Figure out how to keep healthcare.
You know what's funny is Blue Sky. I haven't seen much of it, but it just looks like a straight rip of Twitter as well. It's so funny.
And civil rights over the next 4 years. If you can't see anti-trans bigotry on your own, consider what that means.
What, that I have a different opinion to you? Fuck you. Disgusting.
Very good point. Very good point.
Disgusting. We're pathologizing differences of opinion. I occasionally I just get speechless because it hits me all at once how utterly fucked and authoritarian this is. Like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, they talk about inclusivity and stuff like that. She literally mentions inclusivity in the video we were watching previous to this. They're not inclusive. They don't want anyone around them that doesn't echo all their beliefs. That is not inclusivity.
And what people don't realize is that overturning Roe v. Wade is what opened the door to this. Because Roe v. Wade was not about abortion. Roe v. Wade was about privacy rights. That what a woman discussed with her doctor could not be discussed with anyone else.
I mean, maybe that's true, actually. I pulled a face, maybe that's true. Listen, abortion is something I'm not really 100% sure on how I feel. But at the same time, can't like women be the center of those conversations? Can't women like be the ones like saying how they feel? What business do I have like trying to center myself in that conversation? I don't know.
No.
Okay, I've been holding this comment from Junie for a while. I do want to say that media exposure does both good and bad. The more we're able to show them that we're not the caricature that bigots portray us to be, the better the public.
Media perception does both good and bad. The more we're able to show them that we're not the caricature that bigots portray us to be, these are caricatures. Listen, this is the caricature meeting. This is the fucking waxworks coming to life and complaining about the world, okay?
We're not the caricature that bigots portray us to be, the better the public perception.
And these vague appeals to like bigots, transphobes. It's so easy. You can say anything you want because you're not technically talking about anyone.
Option will be.
Well, and that goes to the point that I've been holding back and letting everybody with their platitudes keep going.
No, the Molotov cocktail person wants to say something. This will be good.
Which are fine. We all do platitudes, and I'm not putting down. And so please don't take any of this as a personal offense, folks. This is lovely what we're saying, but we're not doing anything. Just like we're saying.
True, ha 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 ha. Be offended. Get fucking roasted. Fucking Molotov boy has actually destroyed all of you. What the fuck are you so busy about, Stephanie? You're just sat there fucking mouthing with your friends. You've just been unintentionally fucking blown the fuck out. Amazing.
Saying we gotta not do. We're standing here and saying we gotta do something, but we're not doing.
I'm adopted, so I'm pro-life. That's fair enough. I have family that have been adopted, and so I don't know. I struggle, but at the same time, I am a male. I don't know. I talk about other things to abortion. I don't think that I need to have an amazing, strong position on every single fucking subject, believe it or not, because I'm just not that informed on every single subject.
Something. We're talking about it.
Yes, Odd Girl Outcast is right. Like the stream. Make sure you check the links in my description. We've got just under half an hour before we speak to Chud Logic, the man himself. Make sure you check the links. Make sure you check out my Streamlabs. You can support the stream. You can check out some music that I've made. Quite a lot of music that I've made, in fact. And you can go on my Discord. We talk about trans things. We talk about other things that are not trans related. It's great.
Is willing to call their congressperson. This is you two out in the chat there. To call their congressperson and tell them that they got to knock this asinine behavior off, that Nancy Mace is a lunatic, that you are going to, and this is the key word.
Wait, so we should be making out that a woman's crazy? Isn't that like deeply sexist in a way? Isn't that like abusive partner behavior?
Have them primaried. Okay, if you got a Republican out there, that is a electric fence word for them. Primaried.
Trans rights are civil rights and reproductive rights issues. Are they? Are they? Who the fuck is this person? I think they're a mod as well. Your mod's even more stupid. I do have a SoundCloud. I can link it. It's got a lot of random stuff on it that isn't, Oh. Oh, wow. Charlie Dixon messaged me. Shocking. I don't know why I'm... Hang on, I'll just link it real quick. I don't have it linked, but I do have a SoundCloud. But I also have Bandcamp, so you can listen to stuff on there as well. You can also like buy stuff if you want to. It's not a obligation. But yeah, I'll link my SoundCloud as well because there's some other stuff on there. They just pretended to have transparencies. I don't know.
It's what Trump uses all the time to get these guys to fall in line. We got to use it.
Yeah, let's just do the same shit that Trump does. Okay, amazing. There you go. Why not vote for him while you're at it? And then...
We got to threaten them with campaigns against their efforts because they got to go every 2 years, and remember.
Jammy Dodger always says bigots are like onions. You peel back the layer of transphobia and find a layer of homophobia, then a layer of misogyny, then a layer of racism, etc. That's not even entirely incorrect. But you're not talking about bigots. You're talking about just shitty people. There's just shitty people out there. And then it's this appeal to nebulous fucking bigots that is really the problem.
They don't have much time to plan.
Also, Jammy Dodger's a fucking idiot, but I have a feeling he put a video out that I have a feeling I probably actually more or less agree with. So I'm gonna have to try that out. Because I'd love to put out a video where I'm like, you know what, I actually agree with Jammy Dodger here. I don't like what he does, but I appreciate that he's saying something correct for once. I'd love that. I think that's fun, you know? But it has to come naturally. I'm not just gonna make something up to make content, you know?
We can do better. How are we going to do
Oh,
that?
yes, you can do better. No argument there. I'll tell you how you start. You and everyone else here, delete all of your internet presence and find anything else to do, especially Ember. And Ember can pass that message on to Gunt because she and him are best friends, apparently.
We got to get back to all of our groups that we're all members of. They call themselves this and that awareness or whatever trans issue they think they're covering, and get them to actually put in gear what they say they're going to do. That we all have to start having Zoom meetings. We have to plan what is our...
Yes, make sure you do it on YouTube so I can react to those as well and make fun of you more.
Is our line of attack. At the very least, we have to have email chains. Okay? This is how they did it to us. Was through email chains for planning, for echo chambers for implementation.
Through echo chamber, they want it to be a cult. This is what they want. They want echo chambers, as if that's not what we've had, as if that's not what's a big part of what's failed us, because we've gone insane, because that's what happens in fucking echo chambers. I'm sorry, I'm getting so fucking... I just can't. They're literally just saying all the dumb shit we've been doing that's like fucking us up big time. Do more of it. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And a heavy discussion on emotionality and what is going to make most people the most hate-filled and the most frightened by what actions and what words.
Listen, it makes so much more sense now why this disgusting person is on this panel. Oh yeah, I'm a SoundCloud rapper, don't worry about that. This disgusting person being on this panel, it makes so much more sense now why they're happy to have people on here who simp for like Alex Gunt. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. These like circle jerks are like boring as fuck to listen to, but they're like revealing because they're in with the rest of their people. They will say all the fucking inside voice shit out loud. It's great. It's fucking great, but it's also infuriating.
And the most frightened by what actions and what words. And that's what we need to be doing right now. For this demonstration that just happened in the Capitol, that was humiliating. Okay, they got a bunch of trans women who just randomly, I shouldn't say random, it's the wrong word, who as a group,
it's just Lil Chew actually,
went into the women's restroom in the Capitol building. Well, okay, fine, that's great.
And then they got arrested. It was great.
I was glad to see it. They got something together and they took it to action, but it meant nothing.
Yeah, you're glad to see it. Fucking not Jonathan. James is Smiling was there. Is he a trans person?
They got some TV coverage, and nobody understood the seriousness of it. Nobody asked any pertinent questions.
Nobody understood the seriousness of it. It didn't look serious. It looked like a bunch of idiots fucking dancing in a bathroom. Where's the seriousness exactly? Have you ever tried acting like a person that deserves to be taken seriously?
You got to do an action. You got to have
like, you don't look serious because of this shit. This just looks like boilerplate radical moron fucking navel gazer shit, you know?
Spokesperson. Okay, they got to be saying this is what the group is protesting, and this is why.
Well, they did.
They should have had organized. They should have had an organized demonstration. Roger Stone. The reason why everybody hates Roger Stone is because he's so good at doing things like that, and how effective they are. He's been doing it since Nixon. Think of this as a protest. What if you instead of you had it looked like.
Do you think we could get this person to unironically say something about needing more like trans school shooters or something? I do like pineapple on pizza. To be fair, I'm actually quite an adventurous eater. There's just certain things that I really, really hate. But pineapple isn't one of them. And I like pizza, so hey.
8, 10, maybe 12 women went into the women's room. Great. What if you...
Yes, Trilcon Pizza. Like, as soon as I find a place that does it, like, you fucking better believe that is all I'm eating from now on.
You got that many women, and by the stereotypic definitions of what we know the old white guys in Congress like to look at, we get
old white guys in Congress. Meanwhile, we got half a panel full, if not more, full of old white guys. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up.
A dozen trans women to go into the men's room. And simultaneously, we get a dozen trans men to go into the women's room and then explain to them this.
Yeah, and then all them can get arrested and people can still not take us seriously. It did something all right. It proved Mace's point better than she could. Yes. And gave her the easiest win of all time. Like, oh my God, how are they not getting it yet? I like mine coated in dill. Ooh, Trilcan dill. Yeah. I can get down with that. Definitely.
This is what you want. Mm-hmm. This is what you're saying. We're going to get the women to go right up to the urinals and start pissing. Of course, we won't actually do that because it's a mess. But nonetheless, we have to go. We have to stage it. We have to be dramatic. We have to stick it in their face and say, "This is why." They don't make that connection. Mm-hmm. Well, they know we're upset. They know that what we're upset about is.
Oh yeah, this person sounds old, and like this like Molotov shit. It's mostly like old leftists that do this kind of shit. Most of the younger people don't even know what fucking Molotov is. And this person has never like handled one or anything for sure. Plenty of bottles, like probably several before this, because this is cooked, but hey. Herbal and refreshing, yes.
Legit, but they don't put it together with this is real life and we're going to die. And that's our responsibility.
We're going to die, how so?
To do it and not just talk about it anymore.
We need to stop talking and do more on a fucking panel with like 6 people. Irony. We need a fucking panel full of old men to tell each other to start doing things and stop just fucking virtue signaling the whole time. What? I don't even know. I don't even know. I can't find this person. I'm just trying to see if any of them have, Oh, this was the video that fucking Alec Gunter shat all over. He's a transphobe, by the way. This video that he made was transphobic as fuck. I'm just trying to find some of these people. I'm interested now.
And that goes to
yeah, and there's a phrase.
It's not just us.
I wonder where all these people were 20 years ago. Do they still have asylums 20 years ago? Probably not, because that's in my lifetime. Bumblebree. Cannot find any of these people. But they're big time advocates and like their time is very important, which is why they don't have time to educate you.
And there's a phrase that runs through the standards of care called insistent, persistent, consistent, which means over time, which means you do it as you said, Jenny.
But standards of care as in like WPATH standards of care. Like miss me with that. They want to trans kids.
Over the long term.
Oh wait, old transsexuals love transing kids. I forgot. That's what they want to do. They want to live vicariously through children. The transition. Nothing dodgy about that. Nothing weird. Don't worry about it. Let's just move on.
That's how this happened to us, and that's the only thing that's going to save us, is to be insistent, persistent, consistent.
This is all they've been doing, and it's been failing. In fact, you had it a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. You had it in your hands. It was going great. And then people turned away. Hey, listen, what this person is saying essentially is that whatever we've been doing up until now, despite how horribly wrong it's been going, we need to do more of it.
In fighting for our rights and encouraging allies, because again, we are a small number.
Oh, Trilk risotto. I don't normally go for risotto, but a Trilk risotto, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. I'll think about it. I'll mull it over in my brain. Consistent. I don't think she meant to, but notice how TW never speak about women's issues. They don't even acknowledge that women are on one side of the argument when it comes to toilets, like spaces, sports, and stuff. It's bizarre. It's like, who are the fucking? Sorry, what's the word? Who are the misogynists again? That's what I was trying to say.
For people, we can't do this because we get laughed at. We need people who can't be ignored.
I don't get laughed at. I just get pick-me's like Ember sucking off my conversation opponents, because apparently conversations with disagreeable people need to be heated and confrontational and competitive, I guess.
To stand up and be there too, and that's why you write your Congress people and your senators, and that's why you encourage people who have clout to do the same thing.
Well,
I mean, all of us have those connections, and if you do, use them.
That's another touches on another way that allies can help. If there's an event, if there's a protest, whether it's a sit-in in a bathroom or a pride parade or election day, show up, come, participate, be part of the thing. I mean, in every situation. We saw in the bathroom protest led by Chelsea Manning just the other day, there were trans people of both types. Maybe cis people were in there too. I don't know. But they were all in the bathroom together, because it's one of those situations where more bodies helps, but also whoever's in there.
Sorry, I saw this dementia coming from Ember in their own chat.
They're either supposed to be there or the Republicans say that they're supposed to be there, even though they really shouldn't. And both are useful. So if you're an ally, even if all you can do is hold up a sign or hold space, it helps. So if you see an event near you, or you have the ability to go to an event that's likely to gather publicity, what comes to mind is Martin Luther King's Million Man March on DC. If you can...
Yes, let's keep comparing our shit to black issues, because people aren't sick enough of that. Do these people have another... I mean, this person listened to Alec Gunt talk to me. Alec Gunt loved to bring in, like, black rights, despite neither of us being black. Black people clearly not being the topic of conversation. Oh, Jesse Lee Peterson and Jordan B. Peterson were both right. Hey, I'd give them a lot more time of day than this person. At least Jesse Lee Peterson is, like, funny and iconic. Like, what do any of these people bring?
Can get to DC, do that. It does help.
One of the things that the civil rights movement did well.
Listen, I actually agree, but in reverse. If you're trans and you're sick of these fucking allies acting like fucking freaks, or even these people, then speak out against it. Say that you're not happy with your fucking representation. If you are not happy with your representation. And that's your right, ultimately. Why can't trans people have a say in how the representation is going? Why can't we question it without being called like fucking bad faith and like bigots and fucking pick-me's and stuff? Why not? Why won't you listen to trans people if they don't agree with you?
Was garner media attention. Mm-hmm. And when they were brutalized, they showed the world...
Wait, who was brutalized?
Civil rights... One of the things that the civil rights movement did well was garner media attention. Mm-hmm. And when they were brutalized...
Oh, civil rights movement. So we're still talking about black people. Yeah, I love it. I'm sure black people love their pain and like trauma from history being brought back up in service of fucking old men that are white and probably would have been the ones being racist against them if they were around in this age back then.
They showed the world what happened, and the world began watching. I think particularly of Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. Why does Emmett Till need to come up in this conversation? What has Emmett Till got to do with transsexuals? Dr. Jamie is up to the third notch on Al. Oh my god. Piggybacking is disgraceful. Yes, very disgusting. Listen, if you can't like explain what the problems are without going back in time to completely different issues and using them as analogies constantly, then maybe you're in the wrong business. I'm sorry. And all of you are in the wrong business, especially those of you thinking that you are women, you know? It's going to be like 10 minutes. I need the toilet. So I'll probably do that very quickly. It is immensely frustrating. Listen, I'm not even black, and I find it fucking annoying. I hate to think, like, people who actually are black having to listen to this shit. Like, I truly sometimes wonder what this shit sounds like to you people. I don't feel good about it at all. And that's why I don't make these arguments, you know? There are certain things that, yeah, I'm very pro-trans on. I'm not going to use, like, slavery or civil rights from, like, the 60s or whenever it was. I can't remember exactly. I wasn't born then, you know what I mean? Like, I would never... That's ghoulish to me. It's disgusting. I can't find this. I'm going to go use the toilet really quickly, and then I'll come back, and we'll probably just... Black people hate it. Yeah, I get people... I get black people, like, say as much. I get comments. I get people in chat. Like, Serena, yeah, it burns me up. Exactly. I'm black, it's rage-inducing. Who was it? I think it was that Sabine person. Was like, oh, what black people do you actually know that don't like it? And I'm like, people say it in my chat. I don't know. I happen to know that at least a few of them actually are black. Like, you're gonna tell me they're just fake ones? You know what I mean? Trans woman is like black woman. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a clear difference, and they know there is. It's wordplay at best, you know.